I I do have one ear that's all stopped up because of my cold, so that very well could be today. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming. Do we have folks in the room?
Sharon and Eric.
Okay. Hi, Sharon and Eric.
Her name. It was close.
All right.
Just got done chewing them out. I should have.
Oops. We have a full agenda, so I'll get us started. So if you are on Zoom, thank you for joining us. We ask you to mute yourself and make sure you're recognized by myself or someone in the main room before you speak. So thank you again for joining. Let's see. Public forum. Do we have anyone in the room for public forum this evening?
Or on Zoom.
Or on Zoom. Not seeing any. I'll take delivery of a cup of tea. All righty. We're zipping right along. We haven't done department head roundtable. We've got a couple of folks here. Why don't we start with department head roundtable? Eric, what do you have going on these days?
Not much. Taking care of the roads, taking care of the trees.
You've been busy.
Yeah, just
How are the roads and trees?
they're off the road. They're all passable. I took pictures of everything in case it went to a FEMA thing.
Okay.
So I got all the documents for that. Brett Sargent came from Sargent Trees and picked up a list of them to go around and give me an estimate on cleanup. And then basically just routine maintenance, and we had some air leaks and air tanks and stuff we had to change on the trucks last week.
How's the crew in the snow plowing?
No, they're good.
That was very convincing.
I wonder what that was.
I mean, I see them out there and the roads are clear, so obviously.
Yeah, they're getting it. They're
Yeah.
coming into it. So it's just little learning curve, everybody.
And a little grumbling.
Yeah, 'cause they're not used to the winter hours or anything yet, and
Yeah.
so that's taking a little bit of toll on a couple of them there to get used to. So
Okay. Sidewalks look good.
yeah,
Yes.
trying to keep up with them. But so that's basically the gist of it.
Sure.
All right. Thank you. Sharon, do you have anything you want to share with us?
Sure, presidential primary ballots are here. We're starting to request them. Fun begins.
Yeah.
Trying to field questions between clerk and treasurer, stuff going on, so very busy.
Yes. Thank you for all your work, Sharon. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Jill?
Hey. So I'm sad to say that the Google form doesn't seem to have been a hit yet. We've only had 3 people respond with it. So we had 85 doors knocked last week. 6 people opened the door and let us look at their service lines.
Yeah.
The rest, the notices were left on their door, and yeah, 3. And I know that Valerie did the social media blast, so I'm a little disappointed, honestly. So
Jill, I saw that blast went out on, I believe, a Thursday that you're going, or Wednesday that you're going to do it Thursday and Friday. I thought it was a little quick notice, but also I wondered if you tried knocking on doors. I know nobody likes to work Saturdays, but you might find more people home on Saturdays than Fridays. Just a thought. You would knock on my door, you aren't gonna find anybody home at Fridays. Just a thought.
yeah, that was just the Thursday, Friday that we kicked off the field work. It's all of the rest of January, February, and March is what the notice is supposed to say.
Well, we could always send out that notice about the QR code again too. That's something that if it's already created, we could just send it out again. That might sometimes it's saturation and dose, with advertising.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's once you get into the Google form, it's so easy. So yeah, just continuing to do uphill battle on that one.
Well,
So
after budget and town report and town meeting preps are further behind us, then I'll have a bit more capacity to keep the word out.
yep. And so far so good on everything else. Everything's holding up. I'm pretty glad that we've got a layer of snow on the ground acting as insulation. As you know, that's pretty important with the driving cold weather that we've had for like the last 6-7 days. So yep, hydrants were shoveled out over after the last snowstorm because they did get, most of them got buried pretty good. I think we'll have a good melt again this week and then another couple weeks of snow again. So we'll just kind of keep on keeping on and keep tromping through the streets and eventually we'll get it done.
Another thing, Joe, you might just check with the listers. They may have, 25 to 30, I don't know, visits in the village water system. They got to knock on doors to do inspections in the village. There's a source you could reach out to also.
That's a good idea. Oh, I guess 2 more items of note. The record drawings, we had the record drawings from Steve last week, made our markups. Some of the markups were made because they were pretty simplistic in making sure that like each curb identification actually identified to the 911 address so that you can tell, since they're not necessarily located in the green space necessarily in front of the homes, it makes you understand which curb is going where on the record drawings. The things that we noticed on the drawings that didn't serve the town really well for future use is that there were a lot of structures missing in the drawings, like the whole north side of Pine Street. There might have been 4 or 5 buildings out of the 20 or 25 that are there that just weren't depicted. That apparently was too much of an effort inside of the budget to be able to do something like that or to do additional pop-outs, but at least the level of detail that we're looking for has been noted, so it'll be picked up in the rest of the west side drawings for design and record drawings so that they'll be far more useful. It's not that easy to look at a set of drawings and just look at a station on a road and know where in the world you are without some kind of reference to what's north and south of you, for instance, on Pine Street. So good,
So I'm confused. What's right?
The
or wrong?
the houses aren't on the drawings. So
yeah.
there's nothing to reference for where the line is in regards to where the house is.
So
Yeah.
not so much the house, but the new curb stop's not located?
The curb
So the
stops
curb stops are located. It's that you can see about half of the homes and buildings on Pine Street on the record drawings. The rest of them are just not there. And so because it is an extensive effort to survey them in and we're way past that and that part of the project, the Pine Street project, it is what it is, and the curb house numbers have been notated on the record drawings, which is useful. But what's great is that we're gaining more detail for future design and future record drawings so that the record drawings for, like half the town, basically by the time we finish the west side and the east side, will have very good record drawings, which I'm excited about. So it was worth going through them. Both Cyrus and I went through them in pretty good detail and just, explain kind of the level of detail that we want for them to be a more useful document for the water system and for the town.
So they'll know where the lines go into the houses, not just where the curb stop is. And they can look at the drawing and see it's on one side of the house or the other instead of searching for it across the whole property.
Okay, I thought, I would assume that each curb stop was somewhat in front of the house.
Well, not totally.
There were some interesting discoveries.
I realize not North Meadow Lane.
Yeah.
Not the trailer park, Lawson's trailer park.
Well, no, that one.
Lawson's trailer
Yeah.
Was
park.
what?
She said the north side of Pine Street and Lawson's is on the Larson's trail.
That's where the houses aren't depicted on the drawings.
Yeah, there's just they're relatively accurate. It's that the details that one would look at north and south to be able to kind of relate yourself to where you are on the street are are not to the level of detail that I would like to see in the future. So we've got house numbers on the curbs, which is great. You know, the drawings, the record drawings and the, you know, finalization of the project is into the state, which is great. And I think, you know, because we have so much left to do, I think it's great that we're catching it now. So future record drawings and future design drawings will be far more detailed. Yeah, and it sounds as though things are shaking at the state as far as trying to get funds moving. And it's not just you, there's 110 projects that are shaking right now.
Yeah, after you mentioned that last week, I decided to put a hold on the nastygram I was going to send to the state about getting these loan documents out.
I
But
would
it sounds
still
like-
send it. I would still send it. They're accountable. It's public money. It's federal money. It's ARPA money. It is supposed to get
Well,
spent. It is supposed to get awarded. I would, but
Maybe turn down send it, but turn down the.
with a kiss.
With a
Nasty
kiss.
man with a kiss.
with a kiss and 2 thumbs up, you can do it, guys. Let's go.
Okay, nasty gram with a kiss.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Jill.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone else? Bruce is not in the room. I don't see him
Yeah,
online.
Frida.
Yeah, Frida's here.
Frida's here, our
Yeah,
grant
well,
administrator.
I was going there next. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anybody in the room too. So Frida, hi, and introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. I am your grant administrator who you hired about 6 months ago. It's nice to meet you guys.
Great. Do you have anything bubbling right now that you're applying for?
Bubbling right now. We have tons of stuff going on right now. So when I first got the job, there was not actually like one place that I could find where all of your existing grants were like located. So I created a spreadsheet, and you guys have a ton of grants going on. Which is great, but a big management headache. So trying to get that under wraps has been our first project, and I think we're really successful at it. So we now have a really good grip on what grants we have open, closed the ones that were able to be closed, and applying for ones is kind of an ongoing thing. So right now we're waiting to hear the status of, I think, 5 applications. So after we hear the status of those applications, that'll kind of guide us to what we're going to apply for in the spring. So for example, if we don't get the Borat grant for wayfinding signage for the town, we could probably do a different AOT grant for that in the spring. So stuff like that, they sort of link together in that way.
Great.
Also, Frida's been helping me catch up on reimbursements and submitting requisitions to get the money back from what we've been spending. So that's been helpful.
That's been our big project the last 6 weeks, and we have been quite a team and very successful, and with a ton of thanks to the folks in the office. Sharon gets a huge round of applause from me because she's super receptive to helping with gathering documents that are required for submission for that stuff. And I think we have put in submissions for 4 claims for funds just since I've been hired. So that's a lot of money coming into the town soon.
Great.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure so far, and you guys have a really good team there in the office. So kudos to them.
Frida, with a part of that, you said, Valerie said part of getting reimbursed for a lot of the money, part of that spreadsheet was keeping also track of that, or is that part of the treasurer's job that we don't have right now? A treasurer. Someone's doing it, but we don't have it.
For overall expenditures, I created my own spreadsheets when I got the job for all of this stuff. For existing grants, for grants we should go after in the future, for pending projects that are on your capital projects list, and just things that I've heard about town that are like on dream lists and stuff like that. And a separate spreadsheet that I've made of my own that I'm tracking just submitted funds pending to come in and stuff that we've already received. So it is being tracked, yes.
And also with all the projects I'm involved with, I keep a very detailed ledger. I approach it a little differently than Frida does, but the fact that we are both doing it, and it's been very helpful to have two sets of eyes, keeping track of this stuff, because she did catch a couple things on my ledger that I overlooked. And I think we worked well together to make sure we were on the right
Okay,
track.
great.
That's great.
I agree.
But there are a lot of details and a lot of little moving parts, and it's really easy to trip up on one or two small things.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, Frida.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
I'm happy to
Thank you.
share any of my spreadsheets that I've made with the board if they're interested in seeing what are open grants that the town has or what those funds look like that we're working on gathering. If you guys ever want a snapshot, so to speak, of your grant landscape, let me know and I'm happy to report to you anytime.
Great.
I'd love to see that after
Yeah.
budgets.
Yeah. Would that be?
What
in the
budget
board?
work?
I know you're in the middle of budget time, so I can email that to Valerie this evening and she can provide it to you at any time you want for it.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
That'd be something we put in the town report?
Let's see what it looks like first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and also because the different departments might be representing their
Their
grants
own,
and their
yeah.
own reports. And one of the things that I like about this approach we have now is I know what's going on in my little realm. And to some degree, the public works, the grants that we get through there, but I don't have a strong handle on what the rec department grants are, or the police department grants, or some of the other things that
Right.
might be out there. So
Okay.
this way we get the bigger picture.
Yeah, rec department always does their list of grants that they put in for, both for recreation department and for the hub. That's in the town report, but
Well, I know you need to wrap up the town report sooner
Yeah.
than later, that's all. I
Yeah.
asked.
All right.
thanks, Rita.
Thank you, guys.
I think that's everyone, right? I didn't miss anybody.
I think we're good.
Moving on to regular business. Let's see. Oh, one thing I did forget to ask is there anything to add to tonight's agenda? I missed that.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, but I wanted to make sure. So first item up is budget workshop. And I think you're up,
Yes.
Valerie.
Yeah, so I'm gonna share my screen. It has changed a little bit since the PDF was posted to the website. For the better, I should say. I think I won't have it in. So let me go to the top. First of all, let me start at the bottom. Because I want to show you where things are at the moment. Based upon the figures as of today, the total general fund to be raised by taxes would be 8%, but the bottom line of
Total
impact
increase you're talking about, like, are you saying 8% increase overall or?
overall, the grand list appears to have increased by a little over 3%. And the potential impact to the tax rate would be 4.3% as currently projected. And so, let's see, total supported by taxes would be increased by 5.5%. To be honest, I thought it was going to be higher. So, that's where we're at there. And I made an effort to try to figure out what the fund balances might be from FY22 and FY23. And that's simple math by subtracting the expenses, the actual expenses from the budgeted expenses, and then also factoring in the revenue.
Do we know if those numbers are right?
Well, we don't know. So I'm just, so these just figures are just based upon the information we have right now. Those appear to be the fund balances for FY22 and FY23. But that neither of those take into account property taxes, what was billed versus what came in. So that's not included in this. These
Are all the boxes full at this point? All the
No,
box-
no.
So it's gonna go up.
In terms of actuals, I think FY.
No, I mean, are all the budget boxes full?
Yeah.
So unless we adjust them one way or the other, we're at 5%.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the bottom line so far.
So if we raise them, it's gonna go up. If we lower them, it's gonna go down.
So let me scroll to the top.
Well, won't
lower
that change,
that.
because right now, like, we don't
Some
have,
of them we
like, in
can,
our
probably,
income
some of them we don't.
for taxes and payment, we don't have a tax revenue number in there,
Right.
which we really should have in there. That's what the auditor said. You should at least
And
estimate what
and
that
that
is, right?
was supported also by Darlene from Nemrick.
Mhm.
She said, you really should be putting a budget number, like when we set how much that we expect to raise through tax revenue, we should put that in the budget. And
Yeah,
keep track of that and the actual tax revenues that come in at the end of the day.
yeah.
Is there a reason we haven't been doing that? Or
I
Just,
don't know.
just how it was.
Because
It's
we
always
never
always
have.
that.
That's
so-
always
I mean, that would be my guess. We never
Yeah,
have, so
we've
we
never
don't.
had a number in there.
So the two numbers up there in the yellow,
Yeah,
2,360,000 and 3,768
yeah,
is been put in now after the fact.
after the
And those
fact,
are actual, what we collected in taxes.
that's what the reports tell us.
Mhm.
Those numbers are not included in these formulas here, so they're just for information.
So if you look at when, was it 12/3/2023, we've got 3,737,000. I mean, you can guess that that's gonna be at least what our budgeted amount is for this year. I mean, it most likely will go up, but
And I don't know if that includes delinquent taxes. Or if
no, because
those
there's
are
a
counted
separate,
separately.
there's a separate.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and there's a separate number. There it is. Duh.
And that,
I mean, you
that's,
hope you have none, but
I hate to ask this silly question, that's all the delinquent taxes there is 38,000?
That's what's come in
that's
as
what's
of
come
Oh,
in.
what's come in
That's
as
not,
revenue,
that's not
not,
what's actually,
and
That's not what's out.
that's out.
as of right now, and so we're about 50% of the way through the budget.
Mhm.
So that's kind of a helpful benchmark when we can see, and we're talking revenues here, so we can see that as of right now, our revenues have exceeded our budgeted expectations.
So what about like the Fish and Wildlife Pond Access Pilot, which I have no idea what that is?
I haven't been able to find the number.
What is it? What is that?
They pay us a certain percentage instead of
Payment in lieu of
us
taxes.
the taxes,
They pay what they want.
yeah.
Okay, and then the National Forest payments?
Same
Is that the
kind of
same?
thing, and I haven't been able to track
Okay.
it down in the system.
Okay,
I don't
but
know
they
where
pay,
they're-
we just don't,
I haven't been able to find it
Sorry
yet.
about that. Hang on.
maybe they haven't paid it.
Well, that's the other thing. I think one of them we don't see until like March or April, so it's not gonna show here,
Mhm. Okay,
but I've been
But
trying to find where they put it.
But it should have been showed in the yellow there where it says 0 for actual 22-23.
Yeah, I haven't found it yet.
Okay.
So fortunately, that doesn't, the way that would affect our budget that we're trying to budget for is whether we include them.
right.
So that's the question.
I mean,
Well, I would think if
would
we
think
get
so.
them every year, we should
Yeah.
include
We should
them.
include
We
them.
just don't
Know
put
what the
more
amount
than
is,
what we've
right.
got in the past.
I think if we budget 15.5, we ought to,
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
the National.
2 years
Forest
ago,
payments,
we
2 years
got-
ago was 16,000.
right, but I wouldn't put 16,550,
No.
but maybe put 15.5, what we budgeted
Yeah.
for.
Yeah, so there was 15.5 over here last year.
Right.
And 15.5 the prior year and.
Yeah.
And 15.5 the prior year, so we should be safe with that.
15.5, yeah.
So put it up to 15.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we put it at 15.5.
You know, we got $500 we can spend.
And then do you wanna put in that 32, 37, do you wanna put that in for the budget and start doing that?
Where do you see
Where do you
32,
see- where-
37?
And the actuals
The
for
actuals.
the tax revenues.
Yeah, well, the one that's highlighted on that's GC, that's me. Okay.
Right.
Do you wanna put that in there?
Well,
No, that's because that's actual. We'd have to come up with a budgeted number, what we think it's gonna be
But
based
that's what I'm
on.
saying, it's
It's-
gonna be at least that.
Yes.
if not more.
it'll be the budgeted number that's at the bottom.
Right.
Of the spreadsheet, so I can put a cell in there that, circles.
Just puts that number.
Yeah.
Because that'll change the
Correct.
percentages,
Yeah,
because that's income that we don't have in the income number.
Right. Well, the other thing is that the way this spreadsheet is set up, these revenues and expenses are outside of the tax, the income. You'll see the tables at the bottom. The amount to be raised by taxes, so if we plug that number in, I have a feeling it'll throw off all the fun.
right.
Will
because
that
we've
mean it's
we've
already raised, so you don't need it might be at 0 at the
It'll
bottom? instead of-
overinflate
I
things.
see what you're
Right.
saying.
I think, we would just plug
As
it
long as
over.
we let the people know what we're taking in,
Mhm.
and then they can find what we're spending at the bottom, we just don't have an actual number at the top. Unless there's no formula at the top, and like you said, when you get all done, you can just plug that number in up there.
Yeah, in our budget
Yeah.
reports. Cause the number will be at the bottom.
Right, so the actual, the budgeted number should be at the bottom of the 2022, 23 already, or 23, 24.
Well, let's find out when we.
Because also too, yeah, with the 23, 24 actual, don't we want the total taxes, don't we want to include the 3 million? Because right now it's only 131,000, because we're not including that cell. Don't we want to include that? I guess because we haven't done that in the past, that's why.
It's a new number, right?
Well,
I
yeah,
mean, I think we just want it, I think we just want it there, everything else is down to
Yeah, I
we
think
don't
it-
want it involved in the formulas.
Yeah, because it hasn't been included in the past, it would really throw things off
Okay,
right now.
So,
And we don't have an offsetting budgeted number.
because if you're reading this, the town only takes in 131,000,
Well, it's only through December.
or, I mean, but
but it
previous
doesn't have any of the
year was 139,000.
October or September, whatever it is it September, or October they would do?
Yeah, the actual, something is
November.
amiss there.
November
Or November
15th.
November
Yeah.
15th is when they were due.
Because all of
And then
these
March.
are,
So we must,
Total taxes and payments.
Yeah.
so we must have at least a number for that, what we've taken in November 15th.
Well, that's that number, 3,237,384.
So that's what,
That,
Through 12/31 of 2023, that's what we've taken in.
that's what we've taken in,
So far this year.
the 130, we've taken in more than 131.
Yeah, the 3,237,000.
Plus the 131.
Correct, right. Yeah, the 131 is other stuff.
is the
Other
current
stuff.
use program, the file, yeah, and the
And the
delinquent,
delinquent taxes and.
Yeah.
and the interest on the delinquent and the payments, penalty.
So the delinquent taxes are included because we budgeted for those.
Right.
I see, and then, yeah, in our actual report, when we do it, we don't include the tax revenues. That's not in the town report.
Right.
It starts at delinquent tax.
After I read through the audit some more, I did put in their audited numbers in FY '22, but the audited number was so different from the $2,360,000 figure that our report showed, that it just complicated things too much, so,
Different in
that-
different in what direction?
lower.
The 2,300,000 or their audited was
The audited figure was lower,
For which year?
22,
21, 22.
yeah.
How
and,
could it be lower and we have a surplus?
uh,
That doesn't work.
No. So anyway, because of those questions, and we wouldn't be able to be consistent, we decided not to, maybe next year we can set things up to include all those things. But we decided just go with the status quo for now. So,
I mean, it would be nice in the town report to have the tax revenues. Because we're not showing
You can't put a zero there, that's for sure, because you've taken in 3,230,000.
right, exactly. It's like we're not earning any of the tax
we
revenue.
can maybe show it in a different way, but not necessarily in this.
Yeah, no, I mean, in our next iteration of this next year,
Right.
now that it's
The
been
budgeted
advised that
number,
this should
right.
be here, yeah,
That way too, we're using the same sources of information.
right,
And I think that's also important,
right.
because right now it's a question of reliability of the numbers. Where's the information coming from? We still have some questions about the audited numbers, but they are what they are. So, okay, there's that revenue.
So, did we take a negative $61 in dog licenses? Somebody take money out of the drawer or?
No, I had to buy dog tags.
Oh, okay.
You have to buy them in August.
It was
and
some
you don't start
bows.
your revenue until
Delay.
January.
Okay.
I asked the same question.
Yeah,
So,
that's
so she
correct.
was prepared for you, Joe.
Yeah, good.
Good. Some collars and, yeah.
Yeah. So over here in the notes, I suggest that every year we seem to become aware of a lot of dogs that just are not registered in town. But I don't know of a good way to identify who or what they are until there's a situation. So,
Well, I would think that everybody that registered the prior year should get a notice if they don't register a dog. I know it's more work, but if I registered a dog last year, unless it died, I should be registering it again this year.
This year, the 2023 was the first year we didn't do that. We just simply didn't have time to do it.
right,
Because you have to do,
oftentimes it's a postcard that goes.
yeah,
out, right?
I send a postcard out with the names of the dogs.
Yeah.
Some of them come in, some of them don't.
I've also seen postcards earlier, a few years ago, that had multiple deadline dates, like taxes are due and this.
Yeah, and the
this
last
was-
time we did that, it was COVID and something changed and the cards were,
Right,
we wasted our money because.
everything changed, right, right.
So,
Right, so yes, something along those lines when we have the capacity to do it, even social media, whatever.
yeah,
But I also, just want to throw out there again, perhaps including a late fee penalty for folks that don't do it. In Waitsfield, it's a $25 fee after the deadline. That may or may not be an incentive.
That
for
would go
folks.
into the dog fines.
Yeah, or the dog, just the licenses.
I mean, yeah, we have a lot of people that don't have registered dogs.
Right, and there's no incentive to get
Yeah.
them registered if they're
Yeah,
beyond the
there's no
date.
penalty. Yeah, there's no consequence.
So, how come we're budgeting less money each year for our actuals or for our taxes and permits? I mean, it's going down.
Where do you see that
You
figure?
kind of just jumped off the topic we were talking about.
Yeah, I know, but I had that question. If I don't ask it, I'm gonna lose it, and we're moving down, so. I mean, it's 118,000. Last year it was 120,000. The year before it was 125,000. So we're working down. I'm just curious as to
Well,
why.
I'm noticing that the delinquent interest has not performed as anticipated.
Okay,
So there's one reduction, and you can look at the percentages. So there's that.
Yeah,
And they did lower the interest rate on what we could charge
Sure.
a little bit, not a little.
so we're 3,000 off there, but our revenue is more than
What are you?
our revenue, total taxes and payments. Line 16.
Mhm.
Our actuals are higher than our budgeted amount,
right.
which is
Great
which is
year.
not a terrible thing.
Because, delinquent taxes was not included there.
Yeah,
It
in the
is
budget.
included, I probably should maybe take that out. But no, but it's part of our budget report, so that's right, it's in there. But yeah, we don't budget for it either. So that kind of, we're not comparing apples to apples that way.
Well, I think we should budget for that amount too.
Right, yeah, we
Yeah.
got some big gaps here for our revenue.
So the typical, it looks as though it's around 30, 34, 33.
And just put in
30, yeah.
30, yeah, so if you put in 30,
or 30.
So we haven't budgeted, so that number has not shown up in the approved budgets in the past.
no,
That's
are
okay.
you just talking about the interest and the penalty, or are you
No.
actually talking about delinquent?
Delinquent
actual
taxes.
delinquent tax.
Actual
Oh,
delinquent
it's higher
taxes.
than 30.
No, but if we were budgeting
Budgeting,
for
just
it,
budgeting for it. And we really hope there's zero, but that's not usually the case, so.
Yeah, so it's in the actual number.
Right.
Heater off because it seemed to be going cool.
Well, I don't have a problem with the actual being higher than the budgeted. I just wanted to know why, and
Right. no,
that
makes-
explains it.
Cool.
I'm looking in the town report to see how we showed it.
It was hot when I just walked around, I talked to you when I first came in.
Well, it's interesting. The delinquent taxes have been shown in the town report with
Well, right.
with no corresponding budget figure next to it.
I just think we should have one in there.
Well, it would seem like that number would be what the delinquent taxes are.
Yeah, but we don't know what that is from year to year. You're guesstimating on what that delinquent tax number is.
But I mean,
we're
so much of the budget
guesstimating on
anyway.
what we're gonna bring in.
Right.
But the actual number is what's actually owed.
Right.
What's
What's we actually
delinquent.
received.
Yes.
Actually,
No, that's not the
received,
amount delinquent.
we've
that's just the amount
received
we've
38,000 so far this year.
received. I mean, our delinquent taxes is a lot more than that.
That'll certainly be a boost.
So
to
the
the
budgeted number should be the number that's owed for that year. But we can't put that number in until after the taxes are paid. We can't, well, we can, but it would be a guess.
Well, right, but that's what it is. That's what the budget number is anyway at this point.
Yeah.
isn't it?
Most of
Budget's
these
a
budget
guess.
numbers are guesses.
Ow.
Certain
So-
numbers
so
are
would you-
certainly guesses.
So would we put in 30 there?
I mean, how much is our delinquent taxes total, do you know, Sharon? The actual delinquencies.
Well,
You won't
is it-
know this year until
Well,
March,
what's in the town report?
right?
I'll find out.
Well, what's now?
You see here, I'll try to find it, you guys.
One of the big ones that.
It's 153,000.
He sold his house and sold the property and paid, right?
That was
One of
just,
them did,
The
yeah,
one-
but
the
we
one
still
up-
got, we still got a couple of estates and a bunch of other ones that are delinquent.
so,
It's probably over 100,000.
Yeah.
well, so in last year's town report, and this was as of December 31st, 2022, it was $153,810.80. So we should be able to budget, because this is a number from December 31st, we should have that number for up to December 31st,
And that
2023.
includes all years, I would assume, not
No,
just
that
the
was just
current.
for, that's just for 2022. 2020 and 2021, right? That was the last one.
Yes, 2020/2021 delinquent taxes, 90,000.
90,000.
And so, yeah, the 153 is collective,
collectively.
yes,
So it's
So-
only 60,000,
right,
63,000.
yes.
No,
Oh,
90,000.
90,000,
90,000 for 2021, 2022. The prior years are less than that.
yeah.
Prior year, total.
Yeah, it starts off at 298, then 1354, 1744, and then 90. So it grew considerably over the
Yeah,
COVID.
because we have quite a few that are at least 5 years behind.
Yeah,
I wonder if budgeting for delinquent taxes is kind of double dipping, because we're not budgeting for the actual tax revenue, but that's deferred tax revenue. Does that make sense?
that's probably where some of our unassigned funds come
But
from.
because we don't account for those we haven't accounted for those in the actual budget.
No, we haven't, and that's why we end up with unassigned funds, although that number should be reflected in at the end, our total raised by taxes.
Well, I see what she's saying. If she's saying we put in our tax revenue, what we expect it to be, say it's 4 million,
Mhm.
okay? But then we put in our delinquencies,
Because that's from prior
Prior
years.
years.
So counting
Yeah,
them twice.
you're
That's what I
almost
would-
adding too
yeah.
much into it. You're,
Counting
like you said,
twice.
you're like double adding
Mhm.
the income numbers, because it's for a previous year, but yeah.
I just didn't realize them.
But that would, well, no, it wouldn't, because they go up every year. I don't, if we haven't had a number there in the past, maybe we don't want a number there.
Not this year, maybe figure it out for
Yeah.
next year or something, or figure out how
Yeah,
to,
things
how
are,
best to do
things are
it.
jumbled enough this year already.
right. But it's been recommended to have it, so we
Yeah.
can definitely look at that and hopefully work with
Having
them.
what we're gonna anticipate, what all the tax bills add up,
Yeah,
that's a number that should go up there.
And we'll see
Correct.
that at the bottom.
Should that minus, if, let's say it was
Right.
4 million, and we expect 100,000 of it not to be paid.
right, that's true. So that's
So
what,
should it be 3,900,000 there and 100,000?
right, so maybe that's how you would take it out. Yeah, it's a complicated thing to do.
Yeah.
I think that's something we ought to explore. Not put it.
I
in
don't
this
think
year.
it's been an issue before. I mean, just because the accountant wants it there, doesn't mean that we can do it easily, doesn't mean that we have to. We have the actual numbers, so the public knows what's going on.
Mhm.
I
And-
say let's not mess with it.
Yeah,
this year.
let's not mess
No,
with it.
not this year.
Okay, so
So,
do you wanna go back to the dog licenses and the late fee?
I like the idea of a late fee.
I do too.
Let's put that in.
Can we add that to our, like,
well,
if you're gonna send out a
At some point, since it's not on the agenda tonight,
Mhm.
I would recommend it be an agenda
Yeah.
item with a vote and all that stuff, so
Okay.
it's right there,
Mhm.
no question about.
And I don't think we can put the revenue in there now.
No, this is just a placeholder suggestion.
But I
Hundreds
think
and
maybe to
hundreds of
think about
dollars.
is, if they're not registered by, what is it, April
April
1st, they have to be
April
registered?
first.
And with a, I don't wanna get into your fire
Could
things,
we-
but a 30-day or 15-day grace period?
No, you
They
know.
have a
you-
year.
You can't. It's just like taxes. There's no grace period on taxes. The only thing I might suggest is moving it so that the deadline was the same as the taxes. That way, if they're coming in to pay their taxes,
Yeah.
they've got a dollar.
Yeah.
I
that's
think
why
that, is
some of
April
them
1
do
though
it.
a state statute?
What?
Is April 1 for dog license state statute or not?
Yeah,
So I don't think we can change that figure.
No, but you might be able to,
Say if they aren't paid by the tax date, then
then.
you
Then
get
it's
it.
fine.
Yeah, fine. There you go.
There's your.
15 days.
Yeah, there you go.
There's your go.
if I
We
could,
used to, when it was on the fifth, just automatically wait until after the
Yeah.
fifth to send out any reminders, because a lot of people would just pay them when they come in to pay their taxes.
right. Seeing.
I think that might be a place to post, do you have a dog? Is it registered?
Yeah.
Well, I
I mean,
mean,
at town meeting, it ought to be a voting ballot or something out on the back table. If you have a dog
License are due.
or license to do by April 1st, there will be a fine starting, X number of times.
Since the public hearing starts in 20 minutes and we have Eric here, I wonder if it makes sense to jump to Public Works if we want to revisit anything there.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Unless you want to hang out for the whole thing.
No,
I heard he did.
He wants to get the pain over now.
Yeah,
Did you change anything?
I don't think
a
anything.
couple things.
Oh, did you? Oh, that's right, you did.
One major thing I changed.
Oh, great.
Okay, fess up.
That's just what we like to hear.
per our
There we go.
discussion here?
Yep,
Okay.
Oh, I see.
Well, I made a couple suggestions. I didn't know which way he was gonna go.
Okay, so
Down, hopefully.
No,
what's your changes?
What did you change?
one that I can remember off the top of my head is general contracted services, went up $7,800.
Before we get there, I just want to point out that we added $12,000 in revenue from the grants and aid grants that we get every year
Yeah.
through V-Trans. And it turns out that
Okay.
that money is reimbursing the department for all the work they're doing through their operating budget, ditching and stone lining and improving the drainage on the hydrologically connected roads.
Segments, yep.
And so we're getting direct grants to cover those expenses. So for the first time, we're going to include that as revenue in the budget.
Also,
Well, actually, it was last year too. It was included for the first time last year. And that's what we actually got.
so you're thinking do a 12 for this year?
Yeah, we have no idea of knowing how they're going, what their formula is going to be. So they let us know how much we can, like, for example, the money we have now, for this 12,000, the actual project is over 30,000, the actual costs. So the grant money isn't going to cover all of the expenses, but it helps. So we'll throw that in the budget.
So the state aid, that's we know that figure?
Yes,
Okay.
that's accurate, and
Okay.
that's based upon over here. Yeah, it's based on the length of the road, and every year they update their, how much per mile of
Yeah,
road. And so that's the current calculation.
15%, can't be that.
Yeah, so,
And 12 for that, so 5.6, okay, and then,
so I think
Personnel's
personnel's
all
changed because of the health insurance primarily, health insurance changes.
that's 3 minus 3.2,
Because
All right.
somebody must not
yeah,
take it.
because we
well, the
have
workers'
two,
comp,
we have two people that aren't taking,
Right,
okay,
yeah, so right there,
but we need to bear in mind that when they turn
right.
26.
26,
Right.
that may change.
Yeah.
That could change at any time. So
okay.
those are not changed.
What's your, parts, sorry, we talked about that.
So contracted services,
Eric, I see your winter sand. You said I thought you told us it did go, she went up on the yard price.
No.
Are we still got, do we still put up amount, or do we have still a third of a pile left over,
For what?
sand? Or are we pretty well done?
You mean at the end of the season?
Yeah,
It depends on the winter.
I knew you were
I
gonna say
mean, we've
that.
had extra left over before and then we've had winters where we've gone into what was left over 2 years ago. You know, so it all depends on the season, how much
ice?
ice.
Well,
Ice is a big killer.
I mean,
on sand.
I know that, but it seems like to me, the pile doesn't, there's still, in June, or May, there's still quite a pile there.
Yeah.
Well, you don't wanna get to,
Never,
I-
doesn't
you
go
don't wanna
back.
get to March and not have any there.
No, so whatever we budget for the sand, I usually buy it all, every year. Whether regardless if I got stuff left over or not, cause you never know what that winter is gonna bring up.
It's not like it's gonna go bad.
No,
No,
Well, I was looking, maybe you could cut 100 yards or so, not drastic, but. You know,
Anyway, move on to
Okay.
what you wanted to discuss.
So,
Yeah.
as you guys probably can see it, the general contract service went up from what you guys saw earlier. And the reason for that is the person that swept last year, his business got bought out by Hutchinson. And so Hutchinson is doing it now, and for them to do the same amount of sweeping that they did last year, their price went from 5,500 to 7,800. So that's why that increased. After budget season is done, and you guys are all set or whatever, I wanna bring back to the board the concept of buying a pickup broom for the loader. So hopefully, we can avoid the sweeping and do it ourselves. Not avoid sweeping, but avoid hiring somebody to sweep.
but
The cost of the broom was about 3 years.
oh, so you had the cost of that in there too?
No, the
No.
cost of the broom is not in
Not
there.
in there. Only thing extra went in there was the cost of having them come and sweep like they did last year.
So here's a question.
But wait a minute, but you said we had it down for 5,500,
Last
The
year,
next year, this year, it's gonna cost 75, 78
78.
so it's $2,300
that he added.
he added.
So the cost is $7,800. What he wants to do is come back after the budget is done and ask about taking that money and buying his own broom so that we don't have to hire it. And whether we take it out, we take that out of there and take it out of the capital equipment, or how we do it, will be up to us.
So you went up 7,800 in that line?
No,
Yes.
Or should it
Okay,
have gone
I got a yes and a no.
2,300, because you already budgeted 5,500.
I went up.
2,300?
Because if it was 55 before, now it's gonna be 78, so there's
Right,
$2,300.
and I went up with it originally because of, doing the grant work, like the 30,000, that is not gonna be paid by the grant, part of it or whatever. All the contracting service lines and people and
Mhm,
their hourly rates have gone up.
mhm.
So in order to get the ditching done that we can't do with our machine, I added extra.
Okay,
but all you went up for the sweeping was the $2,300.
Oh.
You didn't,
Did you not budget
I
5,500?
budget, huh?
Did you budget 5,500 under contractor services for sweeping this year?
and then you added 23 to get to 78.
No, I put the whole 78 in.
Cause he didn't plan that on in his contracted services.
The contractor services the sweeping comes out of contractor services. Speaker's right in a sense that the $5,500 would come out of that line item to pay for the sweeping.
Mhm,
But I added the full 78 into that line item now
mhm.
for in case you guys opted to do the pickup broom, we could take the full 7,800 out of that line to go towards the broom price,
So he double dipped.
somewhat.
that ought to come out of that shouldn't be out of contracted services, it should be out of equipment
Yeah,
purchase, and only,
but if we're not saying we're gonna buy it now, then
We need
you
the
know,
money in
we
there.
need the money in that line.
Right.
If you wanna make the decision to buy that broom now, we can take it out of capital equipment which is about 20,000.
Yeah,
Ian, did you
20,
just adjust that?
24,000, somewhere's in there
Who, me?
is for the
Yeah.
pickup.
No.
Did you just say it? Thought it said a 71.2% increase. It was more
No, I
than,
didn't change it.
I think 5,500 ought to come out of that 42.8. If it's in that actual from last year,
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he included it in his budget this year.
he did 3 weeks ago when he met with us, right?
What's that?
Yeah, but I don't know if he included the 5,500.
You
as part of
included
his
it 3 weeks
contract.
ago, $5,500 for sweeping on and on, right?
Yeah, that contracted service line,
Had 5,500 in it.
5,500 comes out of that
Mhm.
for when I sweep. So when I up that line item, it basically was already included in that line item.
Right,
So you,
So it
upped
really
it.
should have only
So
been
you put
20.
the whole 78
I
in
put the whole 78 in
instead of
it
just
for
23.
in case.
yeah.
So when we met, and this was back on the, whatever it was, hold on.
Beginning
I
of
suppose-
January, probably.
Beginning of January, that budget was 35,000. That's the
Yes.
one that's the PDF that's on the website.
Right.
So since then, it's changed
Yeah,
to
42.8,
42.8.
which is $7,800.
There you go.
I'd rather take the 55 out of there and put 55 in the equipment, capital equipment.
Can't. Not
If we wanna
unless,
buy a broom later, it comes out of the right.
not unless you are actually going to buy the pickup broom. Because if you guys take the 5,500 out of that,
You still have the 78 to do your.
I
sweep.
still gotta pay the 78 to sweep, if
But-
you decide not to do the pickup.
Yeah, we need to do both.
Well, no,
No, I see what he's doing, but I mean,
he's got 13,000 in there for sweeping right now.
sweeping, right,
Right.
5,500 plus 78.
Cause you should have only added 23 to get to your 78, cause you already had the 55 in there.
On the other hand, the other point is that a lot of the other expenses are increasing, so if we
Right.
could look at it as building in a buffer.
Well, it just allows me to get more of the ditching done that we can't get done with our machine.
Then say you want that $5,500 for ditching, don't
Yeah.
tell us you put it in there twice.
Well, yeah, I guess you could say it that way too.
Finesse, Eric, you gotta finesse that
Cause
number.
Valerie just said that we're gonna have a $30,000 bill for ditching certain area that we put in grant, that we're only gonna get 12,000, so 18,000's gotta be paid out of our.
Right, that's part of, could be
Mhm.
part of
I'd
that
say
line.
just leave it alone. I mean, with the cost of things and the storms we've had, he's gonna use it.
And then it also could go towards, Munsell Avenue, you know, if we get to do the drains this summer. That could go towards either the crane or a bigger excavator setting the structures
Mhm.
also, so.
God,
It's whatever you guys pleasure, it doesn't matter to me, I'll work with whatever you guys wanna do.
So the bottom line is a 2.7% increase.
With the 55 staying in, okay. I mean, when we get all said and done, I'll just make a note in my head, we get all said and done, next Monday night, and Valerie tells us.
$5,500 ain't gonna be a drop. in the
Well,
bucket.
Valerie said, well, you're looking at a 12% tax increase. I might say, you know what, we gotta start getting the razor out, and cut it a little closer.
You're gonna cut 12% out of that line.
No, you don't make $1 million by finding $1 million, you only get $1 at a time, people.
No, you don't. So,
So-
whatever you guys wanna do, I'm okay with however you guys.
Is that
wanna
about
do
the
it.
only line, then?
That was the only one that I did, yes. Other than what you guys have already seen.
Okay, so I'm not finding the
Hold on,
trees.
but can you go back
Oh,
up
tree
just
work.
Yeah,
Um,
and that was there the last time.
it
the last one.
was. And, this number increased significantly, you'll notice.
Yeah.
So if, and I'm only saying this if because I don't, the amount of increase we're looking at is not as bad as I had expected. And if folks are comfortable with that, then we don't need to take the razor out. But if we do need to take the razor out, I
Just make
think
it-
this
yeah.
one, this line item might
Whatever
be
tree.
an option of
Tree
tree work that's increased significantly.
you could go to 10 or 12.
Well, the reason is because we submitted a $50,000 grant for tree work.
And we need to match.
And I'm fairly confident we'll get it. And if we get that grant, then we don't need to spend all of that.
Yeah,
Oh, there's
and
no
that's-
match?
No match.
Oh,
That's figured in with, I think, five new trees in that line item.
Yeah,
1.5 to 2 inch caliper trees.
Is that in line with what John came to us 6 months ago, Ian?
I believe so, yeah.
You know,
But if we
because I
don't
did
get the
see him about a
grant,
month and a half
then
ago.
we,
He said,
we
"Yeah,
want to have this
plant
line
more."
item.
mhm.
So it's a coin toss. But
When we-
anyway, I just wanted to draw that to your attention.
Moving forward, since we have the tree committee, or we have the ad hoc kind of tree committee,
Mhm.
would we put trees as its own separate line item somewhere and
Well,
not
this
have it
is
in?
tree
Or
work.
in like capital fund, you're talking about like a.
Yeah, something like, it just seems, I feel like tree work in terms of like chopping trees or moving trees or whatever, but planting trees, I feel maybe shouldn't be in this.
Well, it's always gone, not that that's what it has to do, but it's always gone through the,
Public Works.
Public Works
Yeah.
budget.
Well, there's also tree,
In the parks,
tree in parks, $5,000 in parks for trees,
Right.
tree maintenance. which
So if we ended up
That's-
getting that, if we ended up
that's a
getting that
parking lot.
grant and
No, it's not.
took our sweeper, we would have enough money in there for him to take it out of his budget. And it would just be, it would be a purchase rather than,
Yeah,
on the capital. equipment.
I mean,
as long as the bottom line stays the same,
Mhm.
is the sweeper something we need?
either that or we're gonna pay $7,800 a year. Once we own it, we pay zero. We're
And
paying the
then
guys.
we can
Other
also
than
sweep,
maintenance.
we can sweep more often too, like, we haven't swept Main Street north or south before the 4th, like we normally did for the last, well, since I got done. And
Just
we can
realized
also
we're gonna
use
get
it
all
on
sorts of crap
storms,
about
if you
the
get a lot of runoff off and down by Pump House Road by the bridge, that could be swept up, picked up there and,
Meehan Road,
Meehan Road, depending on what we get for, it could be
The
used for
range,
multiple times
yeah.
rather than
Okay.
just
I,
one time sweeping.
I would like to have seen it bought with the loader. But I know it wasn't pricey, it was a little pricey then. City of Jens has one, they don't hire it out, they do go on with the pickup road.
Mhm.
Yeah, they send a truck around with a loader and then that's how they do it.
Okay, so that's the bottom line. So actually, net supported by taxes appears to have decreased for the Public Works Department.
Good, I can go up more.
No, you can't.
Well, yeah, I don't know, I mean, maybe the tree thing, maybe we do check that out. We have fulfilled the grant that we received before, right? In terms of the,
More or less, it's not closed out yet. There's an open question about whether the tree warden is going to follow through with the training that he proposed to do, that was included in the grant.
okay, Is he-
For pruning,
is he gonna do that?
haven't heard back yet.
Okay. Because we agreed on a certain amount to be planted, and those were planted.
Yeah, that's all done.
Okay.
Yeah, that part's, in fact, under budget. So we're not gonna get it the full grant amount because we didn't spend enough. Yeah, it was a $5,000 grant.
Should have done more trees, darn.
So that's it for Public Works. And
Okay.
just about at 7 o'clock.
You're good to go, Eric.
You get to leave.
Yeah, that,
And then the minute he's out the door, we start closing these numbers.
no matter to me. It is what it is.
You'll get what you get with the money you got.
Come in every day, work
There you
there,
go.
right? Come in every day, do the job. and
You run out of money, you just won't come in.
Just say, Sharon, put it in the drawer, be like the old Madeline CUNY days, put it in the drawer, we'll pay it next fiscal
That's
year.
right, don't worry about it.
Remember she did that one year? Early June or May, said, put them in the drawer, we'll pay it July 1.
Yeah, you got vacation time enough, so when we get there, you can just, if we're out of money, you can just take 2-3 weeks off.
We're not gonna be out of money.
No, we're not.
Don't say that. People are listening and they're like, what
As we
if
say,
he, what if he forgets something about out of
I
money?
say at the bank, just go in the vault and get some more money.
Yeah.
Speaker.
My boss used to say that all the
Which way
time.
did you come in, Moncton Road?
Yes,
How's the bike turn? I plowed it off once already.
no drifts.
Okay, perfect. I'm going on there.
I'll check it on my way home. I'll check it on my way home, or he can check it.
You
on
can
his way
check
home.
and call me if you need to.
Run over and get a
So what
truck.
did mine go up? Do you remember, Valerie? what
2
it-
point
what it
something.
went up?
2.7%.
2.7.
Down.
So what's the final for highway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
Down 1.8, no.
let's go to the summary here.
But
Minus
taxes,
0.04,
his budget went up 2.7, but.
minus 0.4, sorry. Minus 0.4.
0.4 to be raised by
Public
taxes.
Works Highway Department that's supported by taxes, minus 0.4.
That's what it went up.
It did go
It
up.
went down.
It went
down.
Uh-huh.
Oh, well,
This
Joel
is-
says
Because we
that
had-
could go up to 5%.
Because we had it in the
Don't
ground.
listen to what Joel said.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did, you, earlier.
I
you
said if things are,
Max at 5%.
Okay.
The overall budget, he said, not
Oh,
your.
yeah, not your budget, overall.
Ah,
You're giving but you're giving away all your money, right?
sure.
Cause you're under, so
Right.
you're giving away all your
Yeah,
money
so I
to the
should
other
get a
departments. Next year, you'll get 10%.
Oh, perfect.
It's interesting that the expenses went up by 0.4%, but the revenues went down by 0.4%.
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we have a number in the USDA West Street stormwater? Because that'll
I'm
change.
done with that, yeah.
Is number-
25,000.
So,
I-
one other thing before I go, I did call Mike, today for Pikes
You see that?
to update me on Pine Street for the grinding,
Hmm,
to give me a price for the grinding of all Pine Street.
That's all paid off.
Okay,
excellent. Do we need to get an updated
Hmm.
price for Lincoln Road?
Why is
maybe?
that?
Or are we, is
I
it
know you have
locked
the
in?
actual.
Well, the only thing it would be whatever the price difference is
Right.
for the mix.
420.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
For those of us online, there seems to be like 4 conversations happening.
Yes, there is. We have-
Sorry.
Y'all set with me?
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
Hey Val, how come we don't have a number in on the budget for the West Street stormwater bond?
I think it got paid out.
No, that was 2019.
Line 420.
There's no way that can be paid off. Can it?
2019 bond.
I mean, we're still paying on the stormwater bond for 2010 to 2012.
it was a 2016 project.
Well, since we have to
Mhm.
switch to the
It was
public
still going
hearing,
on when I started here, so.
let me check the capital plan.
Okay.
And get out of this.
All right, Darla.
All right, moving on to public hearing. Post amendments to Bristol's Unified Development Bylaws.
So hopefully folks had a chance to review Kevin Hansen's memo from the planning commission expressing concerns about some of the adjustments
Ask his questions.
that were made.
Yeah, so if I understand Kevin right, I asked him a couple questions. We had put in that number for the footprint.
Yep.
And he basically said, you really can't do that because then you're restricting,
Correct.
basically the footprint is based on what is allowed in that district. And those descriptions dictate the size of the building, the size of the footprint it can be. So by us putting it in there, he said like the firehouse apartments wouldn't be allowed in this district by us putting in the.
Essentially, so this was
I don't
the,
get what you're saying.
so it was village mix,
Right,
and we put in a structure size. And I took it from the HDR, but what I didn't take into account were the uses in village mix. And a lot of those uses would need a lot more than that structure size, which was only 5,000 square feet. So their recommendation, and I attended the meeting and answered questions when they came up, their recommendation would just be to take it out
take it out, right.
completely, which I think is an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, we were thinking like, oh, it's not there, let's put it in.
There's several,
It should be
yeah.
there, but there was a reason why it's not there, I think, because of the complexity of the uses in that district.
So what does it do by taking it out besides taking it out?
Taking it
So
out.
somebody
it-
can't build in it or it can build
No,
what
they
they
can
want?
build in there, but their building footprint is based on the definition of the use
Correct. Yeah,
they're using. Like, so if somebody's putting in a childcare center, that the definition of childcare center will tell you what they're allowed,
Okay.
per size. Like
If
in
they were gonna have a-
commercial, sometimes it says you can have a 25,000 square foot building. By us putting a footprint in there that says you can only build this, we're saying,
Yeah.
oh no, even though it's an
Okay.
allowed use,
see.
you can't put it in there because you're, you don't meet the footprint. So we didn't take that into account when we were
No.
thinking that. So I agree with them. I would
So if we
Undo
take-
what we did.
Yeah, if you undo what you did, is that a substantive change if you go back to what was originally proposed?
I don't think so.
Well, there was no proposal, so we're removing it, we're going back to what it's currently in the
Right,
regulations.
right.
I don't think it's a substantial change, because we were incorrect in what we did.
Our methodology was flawed.
Right.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
So
so I think that's fine.
that's
I
in the
mean,
mixed
Now
use.
Kevin's on, good for him.
Yeah.
Good.
Kevin, do you see that as a substantive change if we just eliminate it?
And was my explanation right?
Yeah, yours is fine.
So the explanation is fair.
Gave you a
Fair
fair.
as in, yes, it's right.
Ah, there you go. Who decides whether it's substantive?
Well, I hate to say this because, and you can interpret it how you want, but Adam, Luigi and I had a discussion about this and hemmed and hawed about if it was substantive or not. And since it's warned as a change for this hearing, he backpedaled a little bit and said, no, it's a substantive change if the select board adopts any of the comments that the planning commission made.
Okay.
Based on what the select board warned.
Hmm.
And he had a further comment that to have closure with this set of revisions is not to make any substantials or make any changes to the what the select board is proposing to change, and allow the bylaws to go to vote in March to close this activity, if you will, and then invoke some interim vote zoning. And there's a hearing process, there's a whole process designed to find in the statutes for that, and adopt that change. Kind of maybe it's a little backhanded. Of course, also the other thing we talked about is the select board can administratively change zoning as well. And we chose, and we have traditionally, before it was allowed, always had the population vote for it. So there's a little hiccup if you change what was warned to accommodate what the planning commission considered and made recommendations to.
We can't invoke our power for that change.
Well, I feel like we
Kevin, so basically, Adam wants us to give the blessing that we decided hearing back in early January, and then we'll keep working on some stuff and bring it back maybe 6 months to a year then. Did I read that right?
I don't know if you need to wait that long, but this is his recommendation. I mean, you guys have counsel and you have a position that you were just talking about as well. But his to get closure and to go on with, to invoke the bylaws that we've been working on is to keep the path going for a March vote, and then administratively through either change in zoning or interim zoning activity by the select board, adopt those changes that the planning commission has suggested if the select board finds them to have merit.
So what will that do to the couple of things, the increasing the mixed use or, the HDR towards the north of Pine Street through Plank Road area and the so-called business yards? Will any change there or no? Those will still stay. Business yards be going forward, will be allowed in RA5 or like they are now?
So if you go forward without any changes, it will be the bylaws that were presented to the select board and the select board changes, which you have changed the definition of business yard, and you have maintained business yards in RA5.
Okay. But a significant change in business yards in RA5, if we wanted to go from, and that's where I wanted some clarity. Was it just the maximum they could build for size is 5,000 square feet for maintenance garage?
That's village mixed.
Okay,
So in village mix is where the 5,000 square foot limitation came in. And that
Okay.
would, and our interpretation would be that that's any building built in that area, even though, for instance, the industrial has 3 different classes starting at 25,000 square foot buildings, or up to 25, 25, and over 25. And the
so
only
in an
thing-
RA5 district, a business yard could build up to the 25 or only
No,
5,000?
Only 5.
No,
RA5 is 5,000 square foot principal.
That's principal.
Yeah, principal.
Principal, what?
Principal building,
Principal
so
building.
if your principal building is
Maintenance
your
shop.
maintenance
Correct.
shop, then it can be 5,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Well, what happens if your house is the principal?
Then you better
What
change
if-
it.
What if you have a house?
You gotta make
there?
that, you gotta make the principal building big enough so that the house fits the definition of the subordinate building.
Yeah.
Kevin, you're starting to say something, we've been talking, so go.
I'm just listening in, but I think you're mixing two different districts right now.
Yeah, I think so.
So an
You're
RA5
asking questions about.
an RA5
different than what we were talking
will allow a business yard. What's the biggest building they could build to do maintenance in an RA5 business yard?
5,000 square feet.
I'm not sure without looking it up. I think Ian said 5,000, so.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
I'm looking at it right now, and there were no changes to that. Business yard is currently in RA5. And the current regulations have a 5,000 square foot principal building. There's been no change to that in any of their discussions for the last year and a half.
And if the board wanted to make that, and we'll shoot a number out, 10,000 square feet, that's significant change, and that would have to wait till further down the road after March, correct?
Yes.
You'd have to have follow-on hearings with those changes, however you do
Okay.
it.
Yes.
I mean, we don't have to have this voted on in March.
No?
No, I don't feel, I mean, given what Kevin said about talking to Adam, I wouldn't feel comfortable going through with our changes after hearing the
Comments.
comments and the deliberation from the planning commission and then changing them after the fact. That seems like a backwards way of doing that.
But is the issue not that we won't finish the grant?
We just won't get the match requirement forgiven, which is pretty small anyway. It's not a budget breaker.
Okay.
I mean, we do have elections coming up in August and
Right.
November. so-
Yeah, so we have to, and I mentioned that at the meeting. I mean, looking at the other changes, so essentially it was that the change in the village mix, the size, which I think is very important because
Right.
we're now kneecapping essentially, if it goes through, we're kneecapping anyone who wants to develop something larger than 5,000 square feet,
That's
which are a
allowed.
lot of different things.
That's allowed in that district.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then there was section 404, the accessory dwelling unit. And there was a couple items that, after discussion of the planning commission had, they wanted to strike from the section 404. And I think there were good things to remove. If we let it go as it is, those would still be in there.
So what, if it's not a big budget deal, why don't we make the changes that they're recommending? If we make the changes you're recommending, do we need to send it back to you?
No, you need to have another hearing.
I understand that, but we make the changes, we schedule another hearing and then we're good to go for a vote in August if we can't make this.
Yep. And as a technicality, the planning commission has to rewrite their little memo to you. Why, I don't know, but
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
So Kevin, I just want to make sure I understand the ADU piece. You want to revise the sentence as you indicated in your memo, and then you want to delete 3D because we kind of dealt with that in our changing of the height and the 80%, whatever. Is that correct?
that's correct, yes. And it also complicates things in some of the other zones too. So we had an extended conversation about ADUs as you did when you were deliberating, and we ended up in retrospect, in retrospect, as we started debating those comments, the select board comments, it became clear that we were putting structure limitations in a use section. So that's why we were suggesting to delete it.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah.
I'm good with their
C,
changes.
yeah, C was removed because in some districts, it's not 20 feet in terms of the setback. That was one of the reasons why they wanted to remove that. It's like that
No,
you said,
3C, they want to revise it. 3D, they want to remove.
oh, D, sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so D, yes, D was because of that, it's
Right.
in different areas, if that's kept in, then in areas like RA1 or RA5, that could have an accessory building, you're then limiting that. And then, yeah, let's take a look at C again. Where'd that go?
So while you're looking that up, I have a question. I know that Brighton Luke is on tonight, and is this a place where we're taking comment from the public again, or would that be at the next public meeting?
No, this is a public hearing.
Yeah, public hearing.
It's a public hearing.
Brighton, are you available? I know that you had some, Brighton wrote to me earlier this evening and I couldn't answer his questions as clearly as I would have liked to. So I encouraged him to come tonight. Hey, Brighton.
Hello.
Do you want to chime in about your concerns?
Yeah. So as someone who has been considering building an ADU, because my mom has ALS, so I don't want to like move far away from the area, but then also the workspace and stuff that I have now at their house is and living space is going to be, everything's going to be reconfigured to make the house wheelchair accessible. And so I was considering building an ADU on that property and taking down part of the barn, and have been kind of coming up with plans and stuff because it's not a big area. But and then looking at the plans and stuff I've been considering, and like the restrictions that are there now versus the ones that were proposed to change, it doesn't seem like 100 square feet is like that much, but it would like in something that's already a small structure, ends up being a pretty big loss. And for what I was looking at doing, it would completely eliminate the space that I would have had for my for working from, because I work from home, and would kind of make it a no-go. And then in the space that is available on the property, it would have to be 2 stories, just because of the space it is, because it's not a very big footprint area that's available. Is that the 80% rule, unless they counted the barn as the main structure, which I imagine is not the case. I imagine it's the main dwelling. The house is only itself, the main house is only itself barely 2 stories. It's kind of like on the second story and stuff, you can see the slants in the upstairs rooms. So it wouldn't be possible really to have a 2-story ADU, at least on this lot, if the new rules were to go through. But to get like enough usable square footage to have like a bedroom and a kitchen and a living room and a bedroom and a place to work, just wouldn't really fit in that space unless we went out into my parents' vegetable garden, which or got rid of their pool, which I don't think they would like either of those things. So we're trying to keep it within the footprint of the 3rd and 4th bay of where the garage, and tear that down. But anyway, so that was just my point of view of someone who is considering doing an ADU in Bristol, and how the changes would negatively impact me, and then possibly
So what
other people.
can we ask if, we got a few questions for you. So what, do you know what district you're in? Or what,
HD or high density residential.
Okay, so you're in HDR.
So the new regs would say 25 feet or 80%,
Correct.
whichever is greater. So right now, you're 80% of the height of your house may be less than 25 feet, so therefore you would be allowed to build something 25 feet in height. That's with the new regs. I don't know what the current regs are, to be honest with you.
The question I have, and maybe Kevin can help, you have an existing barn that you're gonna tear down?
No, well, the barn is, the original barn, but then some point before I was born, there was an addition added onto it of 2 garage bays. And that's the space where, considering putting it, is taking down the 2 bays and then putting it in between the barn and the pool.
Okay, I was just, my question to Kevin was gonna be if he took that down, he could go back to that height.
Same.
Correct.
You could do it in the same footprint. Can he go to the same height?
Yeah, the barn is, well, honestly, more than 2-story. I mean, technically it's 2 stories, but has like a whole hayloft section, so it's practically the height of a 3-story building. But the additional part that we'd be taking down is only 1 story.
But he could go, correct me, I'm trying to go on your lead speaker. So he could build where you're gonna tear down those 2 garage things that are attached to the barn that are 1 story. But I believe you could build in that footprint 80% of the garage, because you're hooking on to the garage. Am I correct in saying that or not?
I don't know what the current, well, it depends on if we're talking current regs or new regs.
New regs, I'm talking new regs.
Yeah, that was my question. I wasn't sure if it would be
If the
the house
garage
or the
is
barn.
80, it's 25 feet, could he go 20 foot in the footprint that he's tearing down back in that?
The new regs would be 80% of the principal or 25 feet. And the reason we said that is because we felt that the 80% was too limiting. And 25 feet definitely gets you a 2-story building.
Okay.
And so I don't think you'd have any issue there. In terms of you talked about the 900 square feet. The 900 square feet is just for the ADU use. So you can have a 2-story building. 900 square feet of that, let's say on the 2nd floor, would be your accessory dwelling unit, but you could definitely have working space underneath that without issue. The 900 is strictly just for the use of your accessory dwelling unit. It's not the actual building space. So you could have a 1,000 square foot building or a 2,000 square foot building.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Only 900 square feet of that can be used for an accessory dwelling unit, but the rest of the building can be used however you want.
Correct him
So,
if he's wrong, Kevin.
So
like,
my thought would be, is to kind of lay your thoughts out on paper and make sure that you're clear on your uses, where your boundaries are and what the height of your buildings, and have a chit chat with Chris Purley, who is the zoning administrator. And it's hard to verbally, just sit here and verbally
Yes.
go through this process, but
Yeah.
an accessory dwelling unit has to comply with the same setbacks, dimensional standards as a single family house. The site has to be used as a single family house, and it has to be owner occupied. And then you go into not more than 900 square feet and that sort of stuff as well. So as you lay all that down on paper, and if you've got multiple uses other than a single family house, all that stuff needs to be sorted out and see if the uses are complementary stuff. And Chris can help you out with that a whole lot better than we can.
Yeah. And Brayton
I
does
hope,
have drawings. So
hopefully
he does
that's
have
not a
drawings
push
that he's
off
considered.
to your questions, but
yeah, because it didn't occur to me that the home office space might be not counted in that.
no, I mean
Correct.
that's a typical. I would think that's a typical single family house use, is you've got an
Mhm.
office in it, But and I bring that up because we had a situation, and I hate to say it, but we had a situation where somebody applied for an ADU and it wasn't clear that it was a duplex instead of a single family house. So that type of use, or if you have, if you've got some other use other than a single family, what would be customarily a single family function, has some considerations of not allowing, or you won't be able to put up an ADU.
Yeah, but yeah, Kevin's right. Get the details together, speak with Chris. But as far as what you've told us tonight, it seems to me that you wouldn't be limited with what you want to do. It would just be having everything in order about what's currently existing and then how you would apply an accessory dwelling unit. But your sizing standards, I think you would still be able to do that even with the regulations that we're looking at having the voters vote on. But talk to Chris, he would be your first point of contact for that.
Thank you, Brighton.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, Brighton also wanted to make sure that we were sort of using the lens of, you know, I'm going to say kids, Brighton, sorry, I've known you since you were 5. So kids his age, that can't afford their own home and they're trying to make, you know, they need their own space. They want their own space. So making sure that, you know, when we look at these regs and things that we're thinking of it with that lens as well. Not everybody's up to build an Airbnb.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Well,
Brighton.
I think we are. We listened to the comments about the 80%, and so we added in the 25, so that accommodates single-story buildings. We felt that was very important. We did reduce the accessory size, but then that's only an HDR, just to accommodate sort of slightly smaller footprints of structures.
It allows people to build on smaller lot sizes.
Yeah. So, okay.
And I think traditionally, and I don't hold me to this, but I think traditionally the footprint of existing is always, whether it's that meets the dimensional standard or not, is something that can be renovated and extended or that sort of thing too. But Chris has a lot more experience of understanding that what happens there.
Okay. All right. But I think you're right. I think doing the August.
Yeah, or the other thing I was just thinking about today is I don't know what the hearing date, today's the 22nd, so we've got 8 days. We can't warn a hearing that quick.
No.
Okay, all right, so yeah.
Because we had that extra
At least
meeting,
10
but
days.
yeah. But I think
No,
it's
I
fine.
mean, if there was no it sounds like if we just go back to what their recommendation is, they just have to agree that we went back to it, so there's
Correct.
not a lot there, so. I mean, I think if we're gonna go that route, we do it, and we schedule another hearing for February or March and have
It's
it,
in August. Yeah.
have it done and vote in August.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And I
That
thought,
way, if anything comes up, we still have time to deal with it.
yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought their recommendations were good.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Mhm.
and it was only 2 things. There were no changes to the changes that we made to the business yard.
I mean, and Brighton put another thought in my head and he kept mentioning that garage with the barn, I know where with a single story garage hooked to it. Let's say that was non-conforming, it's 3 feet in the line, and they build an ADU. Is that it's still non-conforming, but it's not any closer to the line? But the use has changed. Can you do that?
Chris would know.
Chris would know.
Yeah, same, in the
Probably
same
conditional
footprint, I
use.
believe you can.
He
Yeah.
probably,
Yeah.
he might need a condition.
But if he tore off 1,500 feet, can he build 1,500 feet, a story or 2 stories?
Going
No,
up would
no.
be
I
increasing
don't know,
the
he
degree.
can, it would be
But single
increasing
story.
the
The idea of
non-conformance.
Yeah, the idea of
Yeah.
non-conforming is that you try to bring them into conformity.
You don't
When-
make the
when-
non-conformance worse.
But he
Yeah.
could build a
So he would-
1,500 feet, but only 900 can be used for ADU.
Correct, as the use, yeah. But
As
Chris knows all that.
Okay.
Okay, so
We're in agreement, we're gonna accept
Yeah.
their changes and
Except
I
the
think
then we'll
so.
do another hearing and
yeah, there's nothing that I felt went against what our suggestions were. They all improved on, I mean, that's what we were both trying to
Our
do, sets of people, right? The business yard,
I would still like to see the business yard increase
size-wise. and
size-wise more than 5,000 square foot.
I mean, I think you would send
Yours is
that,
what, 20?
you
No,
would,
mine's 75 on.
you would send that to the planning commission for discussion for the next round of changes. Because
So we couldn't make that and vote out in August, have 2 more public hearings, that's what I'm saying. If
I
we
mean,
want to change
we
that to
could, but
7,500,
that's just us making that decision. That's without the planning commission having
Well, we
any
didn't bounce
discussion,
that ball back to
any
Kevin's
discussion
field.
about that.
You know, it'd have to be against the planning commission, they would have to have that conversation, they have some other stuff that they have to work
Yeah.
on too, so. If we're considering that, we should just let them.
I think it would be it should be a recommendation from us to perhaps look at a structure size in that zone, in that district for that use.
Yeah, I don't want it in the mixed use because it's smaller lots.
Yeah,
I'm thinking the 5 acre, that's the key in my mind, is the 5 acre lot. Go to 7,500 or.
yeah. Okay,
Okay.
All right, so we don't need to make a motion or anything.
so do we need to do anything?
Close the public hearing. I think you've already just deliberated. So the next step would be for me to make those adjustments to the document. And
Kevin said they had to do a new memo.
Yeah, it just has to.
when you do warn another public hearing, whenever that is, that could be in April,
Yeah.
or May, or some other time.
Okay.
Then they would need to be given an opportunity to comment, just like this
Okay.
time.
But like you said, it's kind of a moot point because it's their changes.
Right.
So.
Yeah, we haven't changed the changes.
We just accepted.
And I don't know that they have to do a new memo, but they just need to be given an opportunity to do it.
Okay.
We're giving you all kinds of opportunities,
I know.
Kevin.
As many as you want. Okay,
Thanks, Kevin.
thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
now we move back to regular
You're welcome.
business.
Thanks, Kevin.
Have a
all
good
your
evening.
work.
Thanks, Kevin.
Are we still budgeting?
Moving back to, police budget, review town meeting and police district warning.
No, we're still
No, we're
budgeting.
No, we're still,
budgeting.
we're
General
still on the
Okay, we're
first
budgeting,
one.
we're budgeting. Yep, sorry. I was
And I'm
trying to
really
move us
glad
along.
that,
Okay, so the number 420, the USDA water street stormwater bond.
Right, yeah, that needs to be filled in. Oops. I think one reason that, the figures that I have in my draft capital plan, I don't know that they're accurate.
Can
And,
we, for,
let's see, I don't think I can, I don't know.
can we at least put what we spent last year on that?
Well.
Or the year before, 17.5?
So the
that payment?
actual, yeah, and then the one before that was higher, so it seems to be going down.
Well, is that 2 payments or 1? Sure, I'm not-
I don't know.
It's probably a payment
We don't
and an
need
interest
capital.
payment.
Right, that's why it's
Oh, hang
only
on.
12.
Unhide. So it's 001 10 6 30 03.
00.
30,
all
zero,
three.
zero, dot, oh, 3.
What'd you say, 001 10?
6300003. Means everything.
03, the whole three.
I have to put the numbers in twice.
I'm mixing them together. Brilliant.
Alright.
I'm not sure if I can switch screens here.
She's got it.
He's got it. Sure.
Okay. Last year, we had 12,795.
That's
Yep.
what it says. 96 is what it says. but-
Yeah, well, it's 53 cents, so.
Yeah, okay.
We made it through this year?
No, it doesn't look like
No.
it, not yet.
Not yet. 22 was,
Well, let me,
22 was.
It says 17.
17,590.
yeah,
So you don't know what
Don't know what this year.
this year.
Well, it's gotta be less than 12,000, right?
The year before was 18,893.
So we
So if
budget
we put 12 in there. We would
12 or
say-
13 in there?
13.
Yeah.
13, just to be careful.
Yeah, cover our butt.
Did you lose us, Bauer?
And we tell
Yeah,
Eric
I-
he used up his 5%.
That must be, no, because 2020, there's no information. So 2021 is when we started paying it.
right. I'm trying to, I lost my screen.
So if I put 13 in there temporarily, what does that do?
When do we, oh, we should be getting a bill here soon. It looks like we pay in February.
1.3 increase. rather
There you go,
than a
yeah.
negative.
Well, Eric's gonna be mad.
Hang on a second here. So what I wanted to show you, if I can manage it, in my, in that draft capital plan, I have tabs at the bottom. You can see these different tabs. And the one I have for the stormwater loan, it's a, it's a static table I copied off of a website. And so it doesn't have formulas in it. And these numbers don't match what's in our, the 18,000 and whatnot. So that's the only information I have on that loan and the annual payments.
All right,
So,
well, looking at the town report last year, at 12/31/22, we had 3,347 had been paid. And now our actual is
I know.
12,796. So is that the full amount that we paid for 2022-23?
Yeah, there's two payments in there, 6,101 and the other one's 3347.
Okay. So the 3347 was the one that we
One
accounted
was for
for
water
last
system
budget
and the
season.
other one was stormwater.
One was
They're
the
going to the same account.
Okay,
water system and stormwater?
Yeah, because we paid for a portion of the
the
town
water.
paid for a portion of the
Okay.
water
Could've gone
because,
over hill.
yeah.
so I think 13 is probably good. I mean, it's odd that it was like 18,8, 17,5, and then suddenly dropped down.
right,
And we budgeted,
18.
yeah, we budgeted 1894,
yeah.
but it dropped down to 12. I wonder why that was.
There isn't another payment.
Well, I think probably with 2 interest payments were made. Were they same bill or is it kind of like the banks? You get the principal one, then the small one, you get the other half of the principal. plus
Two
interest?
pieces typically.
I wonder if they just added an extra interest in that 17.5.
And we haven't had any payments this year, even though this time last year we
Well,
had a
in
payment.
21-22, there was 6101 and then 3345 and then 5977 and 4796.
That was when?
What does that all add to? That's more than 18,000.
Right.
It came up to 17 something because there was an. adjustment.
17.590 maybe?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was
So
an
that's-
adjustment in there, a correction that was made.
Okay, so that should be higher than 13.
Did we pay? We were gonna pay something down. We had some extra money. Did we pay one of those down?
Wasn't that the South Street Bridge?
South Street Bridge we
South
paid
Street.
off.
Yes,
South Street
Okay.
Bridge. one.
all right. Well,
So
so we
you
need,
think 13 is enough or?
no, I don't think so. Well, it sounds like it was.
It sounds like we're
around
missing a
17.
payment.
Yes.
I think you're missing an interest
Because we've
payment.
only paid a couple of years, so we don't have much to.
I
So,
would maybe put in 18.
right, so, I mean, we budgeted, last year it was 18,894. If we put in 18 now, which probably is where it might come out if we maybe did
We were
17,000.
17.5 before, so it should go down, but
Yeah, that's what I'm, so we did
The
18.
budget 17.5 then, but I think
Okay.
that changed it a lot.
Oh,
No,
no, that's.
Not
what we
170.
need.
knock off a zero. There we
One
go.
more zero.
little inflation.
okay, so if it's 17.5 for that one, and then we have the number for the one above it, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Still 1.9.
okay.
Although.
Why does that
is
say a negative
accurate?
7.4? Why does that say?
It's a decrease.
Because we budgeted 18,894.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's fine. It'll always be a decrease.
Yeah.
We hope.
But it's not.
In that line.
You know,
Yes.
I wonder if that extra payment got applied to the other bond. Cause you see the numbers off.
Yeah, it is. We budgeted 34.8 and it's 41.24,
Yeah.
just about 7,000, yeah.
Yeah,
That stormwater bond, 2010, refied in 2012, was the one from the grade school down to South Street, wasn't it bigger? That was under Obama money,
Yeah,
wasn't it? I'm just thinking off without
Okay,
Sharon looking it
So
up.
I think that helps.
yes.
yeah, that probably is that $5,000 there. Well, that's 7.
Yeah,
Is
What number?
6 different.
00.01.
5.
001.
12 and 5 is 17.
which is about that. So maybe that's
12
what it is.
and
Maybe you're right.
12, but that's 6.
It's all this money, we're just juggling.
That's 6, and 12 and 6 would be 18.
yeah, you look at the
Yeah,
bottom,
there's a 6104 and a 34,919. So it says a USDA payment was in this, so maybe it was in the wrong place, I don't know, without looking at the invoice.
So 53.8, the previous year was
It went to M&T, I think we've already.
53, right?
So the actual, was 52.5, and then it went up to 53.8. But they should both be going down,
No,
right?
but I think the year before is wrong, it's got that 61, it's probably supposed to be somewhere else.
6104 is the difference between
I think it's a different one, it says a
41,34,91.
USDA payment, because the payment for this stormwater bond goes to M&T.
Oh,
We just made it in
That would
November.
be 18,9 if you add it to the 12,7.
oh.
Yeah, I didn't need to do that math. It's all done right there, isn't it?
Well, you're just checking this, so. Okay, so are we comfortable with putting 17.5 in there?
I almost said we need to put 18. I'm just not sure.
52, yeah,
Not a
that
great
would
big
put us
deal.
at 53, which is where we've been.
Okay,
Good, good catch.
click that off, would you?
So let's go back up to where we were, which was where, the revenue.
You gotta flick it down so the orange piece is showing. Right here on,
Wire them off.
right here on the side.
Yeah, I've got to do it over here.
Which were we?
Muni.
Where were we
Where are we
at?
at? What line number?
So
One,
we're
back to
back-
one?
Yeah, I think so.
Go back to revenues.
Can you hide the,
Oh,
when you want me to hide those? Yeah.
so, yeah, not a lot to report there. Some decreases based upon actuals or lack of actuals.
So let's go reimbursements to the town, library personnel benefits reimbursement.
Not a great big deal. I think you ought to budget only $150 for a motor vehicle. Everybody does those online now. I don't know, maybe Sharon, it's 123 so far this year you've collected.
I have no idea.
But
I
we're
only get
50% of the way
$3 a clip.
through, so.
Huh?
I only get $3 a clip for doing them,
Right. So,
Yeah.
so,
but
I
you
don't
couldn't
know why they
get
would
to,
even come in here.
right.
because they don't have a computer and they
Yeah.
don't wanna go to D&B and do it. And it's usually, oh my God, tomorrow's a new month.
I got register my car.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's always gonna happen.
I don't change it then.
So for the number 32, do we know,
There are no more, they're not gonna be taking health benefits, so.
the new librarian won't be?
Not that we.
I haven't heard anything.
And she's been hired and been working, so, okay.
Do you got
And I
a,
don't know if they haven't said anything about short-term, long-term either, so.
Ooh,
should we get a number there?
Should we ask them? I mean,
Wouldn't
maybe they
hurt.
just haven't like,
Do you at least budget what we pay if they
They've been
don't take
sending
it?
enough emails, you think they would have already asked, but, because they asked about the insurances.
Yeah, they have all that information, so
Okay.
it's in their court in terms of doing it.
okay.
Should, I'm asking the group,
She
should
asked
we,
me about the holidays today.
should you at least budget for what we pay in lieu of not taking insurance?
No,
No,
because
they
we
don't
don't give
get
them any
it.
money.
They don't get that.
So they're not a town employee?
No.
Correct.
They're under the library
Okay,
appropriation.
just asking.
Yeah, that'll be in their budget, okay.
Yeah.
Other revenues, interest,
What's the revenues to be distributed? Where does that one come from?
That,
43.
it's,
That's money that goes into account that needs to be distributed out and hasn't been.
Could be grant funds, could be fines,
Could
could
be
be
anything.
anything.
yeah,
Yeah, I looked at it today and I went, I have to figure out where all this goes.
yeah.
Peter will give you his account number.
When's never coming back?
I don't know. She's supposedly working on the reconciliations, but they've had a lot of issues at Nemrick.
What does that mean?
Well, I've had to call them every day for the past 5 days to get on Nemrick because my icons keep disappearing. So I can't do anything. We're
It's the
dead in the
flood.
water.
It's the flood.
COVID,
It's in the,
blame
it's
it
in
on
the
COVID.
computers? Oh, no.
Blame it on COVID.
Okay,
Okay.
Where's the,
So that revenues to be distributed, it really messes up our bottom lines.
Well, no, because we're not putting anything in the budget.
Yeah,
We just have to figure out where they go. I mean, we don't budget for it.
no, but I mean, it messes up the numbers
Right.
when you look at them.
Right.
So if you made those zero, what you
Right.
gotta
Well, if
count,
they were distributed monthly, it would be different,
Right,
but.
And so how do we calculate those? Like
going forward.
the interest and things like that?
Gotta play catch up first.
Val, how do we do like number 38?
What's number 38?
Interest.
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 And it's
Interest
down
on what?
60%. Yeah, what is that? I mean, I know that these are small numbers. I'm just curious.
Bank interest. Is
On
that what
what?
that is?
Yeah,
Right.
it's the revenue.
And that's probably because we haven't been reconciled,
Okay,
so you're not gonna know.
so we really can't look at any of these.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay,
where's Peaker and his crew's permits, you know, when you get your overweight permits, Peaker? Where does that go? Eric's budget?
Eric's budget under miscellaneous.
Okay, just asking.
all right, let's go
And
go
it's
through
okay.
these. General, look, I got the name in here.
Expenditures?
Have you looked at number 57? That's the new fancy name. Software
Software
subscriptions, IT
subscriptions.
support, it covers everything.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
I got it in all the places it needs to be in.
You wanna add a boy?
Where do we put, okay, where do we,
Sorry, I couldn't read that.
attaboy.
That's great.
I'll give you that.
Thank you.
Where do we add the 10 grand we're gonna spend for memory,
From what?
for memory?
That's
That's on
this
This
year.
is your budget?
Yeah, this year's budget
This year's
was.
in the
it
Would it
was
gone there, Doug?
treasurer's. It's well,
It's IT
it's an unusual
Yeah.
IT support, yes. But no, it's coming out of the treasurer's budget.
Clerk treasurers.
Clerk treasurer.
We're not separate.
Sorry about that. You wanna be separate?
No, the only thing that treasurer is separate is they have their own supply line, everything else is combined.
Okay. So nothing, what do we got? Supplies,
We don't have
need,
any custodial? We not clean, they're not cleaning here?
Yeah, she runs, they pay her through payroll.
So is that general cleaning here?
That's for Holly Hall, or is that under
Custodial.
Holly
That
Hall?
down here, so it goes under building maintenance, I believe. I don't know where I'd have to look and see where she's charged to, but it's not part of the,
There hasn't been any, so I don't
Well, I know,
know.
that's what I'm trying, well,
Can we
there's
take-
$14 in for actual.
Right. Yeah.
That's one cheap.
It's
cleaner.
$1.10 a month.
It
Well-
is odd that custodial is not shown here, because it's a very discrete expense. I mean,
but it's not part of the clerk budget.
yeah,
I can't see which, I'm assuming that's.
well,
what
this
they
is
were-
general, this is
This is
under
This is
general.
a general,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah,
this
I
building.
think most of everything, I put a note what goes under the building, which is Orkin cleaning.
Oh, right, yeah.
Well, then maybe, can we find that? Well, we'll
Can
get
we-
to that.
can we
later.
delete-
Maybe it's under Holly Hall.
can we
That's
delete?
what I'm
Yeah,
wondering,
it
it's
might
under
be
Holly Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
Can we
under Holly.
Never mind.
Can we hide this line, Val?
Or delete it?
Or delete it?
Yeah, because the actual
Do we need it?
doesn't really affect anything.
Right. All right,
Should
so
that
let's,
actual though,
let's hide or delete that.
should that
And
all,
there'll be $14
out there?
Yeah.
Floating around.
Snowy.
No idea what $14.
Couple rolls of.
It's it's
Paper
janitor
towels.
and a drum.
I'm gonna hide this row.
Let me see.
Is hiding, does that remove it from the,
It still gets
Formula.
calculated.
Still
I
there.
can't hide it then.
Yeah.
Let me go.
Now, I've run into problems in the past where I discovered hidden roads.
Yeah, don't hide it.
Okay, can I delete it then?
Yeah,
No, I would leave it and let
Leave it
Val do
there.
that,
yeah.
Well, what's the difference between me deleting and Val deleting it right now?
because I don't want her to forget it's there. Or forget, think somebody needs
If
to
you're
remember
gonna
that
delete,
$14.
I don't mind you
goes.
deleting the $14, but you go find Holly Hall and put it in Holly Hall
That's
custodial.
what it's for,
Yeah.
Okay,
but I don't know what the.
but this is more work that Val has to do.
I
We could get
know.
rid of it right now. I could stick $14 and say, well, let's find out
Well,
where
if I
where it
knew the
goes.
account number, I could look and see what it is.
There you go.
Here we go.
001. If you think I can see it, I can't.
It's not there.
It's not there.
Val's gotta find it.
No, now we're going
Line
back,
62.
What?
now we've gone back to paper. You hit them, can't you open?
She's gonna
Yeah,
do
she's got it on paper though.
There's number 62, line 62, if you have the lines on there.
You probably don't have a line up there.
No, I know. Okay.
Hey,
All right,
can we
well,
move
let's-
on
yeah,
while
let's
she's
keep moving
looking?
on. Yeah,
Why couldn't we just unhide it and seen the number?
she's looking
We
at it.
can, but she's got a paper so that she can just write them.
Yeah, okay, so special services, we've got our two new,
That's right.
we've got number 71, which is our.
Wait a minute, Sharon's found. What'd you find, Sharon?
What?
Addison County, September 2023, $13.50.
Addison County, like taxes or?
I don't know, that's a total fun.
Addison County balloon animals. I don't know.
Just making,
Just
make
a
it for
random-
Sharon. Road.
Probably
Yeah.
Addison.
Really, if we went through.
Probably Addison County Solid Waste, you took some paint back or something. I'm just gonna guess.
Moving on.
All right, so 71, we've got our grant writer in there,
Yep.
who we saw earlier this evening.
Yeah, and you
Lovely.
can see in
Yeah.
my notes, since she's, by the time this budget is in effect, she will have, been on board for 85%, let's see. So, ARPA's been paying, ARPA will have paid 85% by the time this budget is active, so.
Okay.
So everything is prorated, and then this also includes the, community resource specialist, and since that hasn't been filled yet,
What's the movement on that? Has that been posted?
I think where it is, Bruce needs to finalize the job description based upon the
Oh,
meeting
okay.
we had, and I think he's been just too busy.
Okay. All righty.
Yeah, so this budget, has the community resource specialist budgeted at 35% and the grant writer at 85%, and everything else is prorated.
Okay. Excellent.
Is that, Valerie, just go back here, that you said that it's only $100 or $190, so that's for this office, the Act 76 childcare finance.
Correct.
Just for this office, okay.
And all the other, the health insurance retirement, that's all based on the community resource specialist position, correct?
Both,
About
Oh, both,
Yeah.
okay.
right, prorated again. everything's
85,
prorated.
20, 85, 35. So next year, those will go up,
Yes.
a little bit.
100%.
Or will go to 100,
Right.
they won't go up 100.
Right, right.
Easy,
I
easy.
hope not. Administrator's office,
Can you go back up a special, wait a minute, CSR, CRS, vehicle gas, okay, those are prorated. Clothing,
Yeah. All the
Okay.
things that were in Bruce's budget.
okay,
Everything that's checked is prorated, I'm guessing.
right, okay,
I just saw the check, that's why. I said-
Yeah, you can see the formulas.
yeah.
Kind of scary looking.
Oh, yeah, that looks neat.
Yeah, one false number and like blows up. But anyway. How the sausage gets made.
What do you got, Sharon?
It is $13.50 for taking a bunch of computers to the solid waste.
oh, well done. Get the
Ah,
prize.
he said paint. No.
I said pay, I did.
Yeah, he's no good.
So wouldn't that be landfill rather than? just
Actually, you
go
guys shouldn't have,
Trash.
you guys
Yeah.
shouldn't have to pay that, municipalities are exempt from that law. Only
I
businesses
thought
with
all
over,
e-cycling was free.
oh,
It is.
It is.
it is for 10 employees or less, businesses and all municipalities, schools and colleges.
Get that $14 back then. That'll really help us this year.
Good luck fighting that
Yeah, I
one.
thought disposing of old computers is free.
Yeah, it should be fair.
Okay,
We found a cheaper place than ours.
Administrator's office, number 90, you got some some green question marks in the notes.
oh, just, for some reason,
$610 there.
yeah, the admin secretary, I don't know what that's for.
Was that when you hired Val special? Or for a little bit of fill
It
in?
wouldn't come out of my budget. This is my budget.
Okay.
That was a last year number. Can we remove that line then?
I wouldn't. You paid it, it's a financial,
Well, the
I'd
reason
leave
to
it.
keep it is to find out where it goes, because it's obviously, it was expended somewhere.
Now, why
Can we-
have you got the green checks on all of those?
That just means there's a formula in
Yeah,
there.
the
Oh, okay.
formulas.
Can we look up that $6.10, just.
It's,
$610.
yeah.
If my recommendation is that the select board doesn't need to dive into those details, that is something that we just,
Okay.
because obviously it was expended, we just need to figure out. I mean, it's
Yes,
gonna
you're
show up
right.
in the bottom
Right.
line, we just don't know where.
My
exactly.
concern is that was last year, and it's still there, and it
What
wasn't,
number is it?
wasn't fixed for this year. So
90,
we just keep doing this
90.
again and again.
yeah,
It was for $610.
yeah.
I'll check it out later.
Okay,
Yeah, so I don't wanna,
Yep.
you don't need to take up the time going through that. So,
The
nothing,
admin assistant, that's Gail already.
Yes.
correct.
Okay.
So this is Gal, and.
Does she do health insurance?
No,
No,
Didn't work enough
So why is
hours.
her actuals in there?
I know,
Here
well,
again.
that's why they're highlighted,
okay.
nor does that person get retirement. with that
No, but I
position.
think mine might still be going there. It was supposed to have been fixed, but I don't know for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she doesn't, we don't pay workers' comp on her, or do we?
Yeah,
You gotta pay workers' comp.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure we have to, so that just hasn't been inputted for this year.
Yeah, or
Hasn't
last
been paid yet.
Or last
Yeah.
year, yeah.
so can we go back to just 99? That went up by 16%. Is there a reason for that?
Stroke of the pen, stroke of the keys, when it went in the right spot.
99,
software,
I know it's small, but the actuals have been $198 or
Well,
$235.
according to the note, Frida's stuff has been going into there. Wait, is that what this?
No, it says going to general computer.
So I took the Dominion Tech that I thought that my budget was being charged per month, and I just multiplied it by 12. Because Dominion Tech's expenses.
So this is for her subscription, for the grant writer's subscription, because she's got another computer, we got another computer.
Yeah, we're back into,
okay.
my budget here, and I don't know, I did not add that red line, so I'm not sure if it's charges for, so Frida's computer is being charged to a different line, so it's not included in this one.
So what's that, this is.
So why is that higher then? I'm just curious. It stayed
Why
the
did
same.
it go up?
It's been 1068, and then it's jumping
Well,
now.
Rita's got a computer's got IT support now, so.
Yeah,
I know,
but
but this
she's
is the
saying she
administrator's
put it
office.
somewhere else.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
So
red
the
says it's
Dominion
going
Tech,
somewhere else.
monthly charges increased, so I plugged in the,
Are you also including the $12.50 on top of the increased other part?
yeah, I don't know.
and did you use that formula in all the other software lines?
I may have,
Okay,
or did computer stuff get completely taken out and consolidated in general? So.
No, everybody still has their own.
Okay,
I still
so,
charge everybody.
okay, yeah, so that's just.
And
one
if
of-
you have any work done,
Right,
it
It's
goes in
extra.
that line.
yeah,
okay.
so is that a line we're gonna look at or no?
Well, it just seems odd that we haven't even come close to spending it.
I know, well, it's a
yeah, and even here,
contract.
yeah,
You're spending 300 or 250 bucks and we're budgeting.
Well, each month is a $395 charge for the subscription.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we-
that's-
At
so
least
some-
for
we
like
need to-
Microsoft Office.
we need to revisit
coded
that.
right.
But
because
it's split, she's $12.50, she only has one computer, and then, let's see.
I
You
thought it
said,
was per
you
license,
said
per
she's
computer.
$12.50 or the whole IT is,
$12.50, no,
oh, $12.50.
the whole thing, I think we're paying $125 for the licenses as we have for the Office 365, let me find my spreadsheet.
Yeah, it's the email and the Office 365, and it's also their firewall stuff and all that. There's a,
Yeah,
we need to
it's $862.79 per month for everybody. The admin computer gets
yeah,
12%. This is calculations that was done before. Clerk treasurer pays the highest. everybody's split, and then of course Office three
12%'s
sixty-five.
80, 800. 900.
Yeah, I'll,
So this should be about $1,000. So there's stuff that's not being, something's not being coded right because there's no actual numbers there.
yeah. No, it's complicated because it's like a set amount, but then it's split between all the
Right.
different users.
Right.
I wanna get a handle on that, because I feel that
Well,
we don't need to be
it's
paying
saying,
that much.
you know,
And it's going up too.
10% of 800 is
Yeah,
12%. Whatever it was she said.
but we don't have there isn't a budget for the administrative assistant. Is she not on? She has her, oh no, maybe she doesn't have any.
She's under probably clerk treasurer. Her
No,
stuff is
she
under
has
clerk
her own.
No, because it's in there, look,
treasurer.
She has her own.
100, line 112.
Admin assistant
Huh.
is 1250.
Sounds like the 1242
Yeah, that
up
needs to
there
be
is
added in too.
everybody's.
So
Yeah,
at the
Like
very,
$12.50 a month for
No, she's in for
$12.50,
$1,000.
$12.50.
well, no, she was last year, but, or
She
no,
spent $1,000 last year.
yeah,
I'll be honest with you, going back up to mine, that 103.53 times 12, I don't remember what that 103 represents. It's not some monthly charge.
It's the monthly charge for Dominion tax.
So it's $150 a
So
year.
I need
No,
to,
that's
right?
her fee.
So that's,
There's a percentage for each one.
so I need to add in
depending
the
on how many you add.
1250 times 12.
1250 times 12 is, what I just say, 150? 150?
12 times 12 is
Yeah, right now it says
We're throwing out so many numbers.
1271 in that account.
150. 1250 times 12 is
It's $150.
But since, when did Frida start? September?
August 7th.
August, okay, so,
But we're budgeting this for next year, so
yeah.
we're gonna do it 12 months.
So I added in the 1250.
So is Frida's gonna have her own line now, right?
Correct. She should.
I think she does. So this, what's in for mine,
Her computer stuff should be going to ARPA this time.
it should have been, but I don't know that it has.
Well, so in line 81, that's hers. You've got your two computers, and that's 1791, which shouldn't be enough if our two positions have email and office. That's not gonna be enough, right? If you use your formula,
Yeah.
103. So we might need to bump line 81. And then we need to do, okay, so you've got in 112, that's good, 1392.
Oh, actually, I do have those. I do have the 1250s and the 103s. Yeah.
So that's yours, Valerie, the 1791, that's your office?
No, that's the,
Clerk treasurer's office?
no, that's
No,
the
clerk
special
is on.
services.
Okay,
So
so
that's
that's,
correct.
Oh, that is correct, okay.
so did we,
Okay,
all right,
that's great.
I have to ask the question then. Special services, is Frida in the special services?
Yes,
Frida
So-
and community
so are-
resource specialist.
I thought the 12, right here, the line, limit, Valerie, back up, go down a little bit. Line 99, I thought that was Frida's, you
That's
said.
me.
That is,
That's you,
That's
Yes,
the administrator's
administrator.
office.
okay.
so, okay, that's good. We were missing the 1392 from the administrative assistant. We've got that now, good. So that bumped up a little bit. Let's look at clerk treasurer.
Was that,
Administrator doesn't have an assistant.
Correct.
was that,
Wait a minute, I have about,
Admin
was that
assistant.
7?
Administrative assistant, not administrator's assistant. It's
Admin assistant
Gail
scale.
essentially,
okay.
yeah.
That 1750 for
Clerk
those
treasurer will
charges,
be
was that
high.
prorated?
What are you talking about?
The 1750 for Frida and,
Yes, that was prorated.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, because it would have been 26 if it wasn't.
And the formula was a block one.
Yeah,
yeah, noticed that.
well, I just
Yeah, okay.
thinking out loud, I'm sorry.
No, that's good.
Clerk treasurer. Is that what
All right, yeah, clerk treasurer,
That should be fairly high, because we're double what? We're 276 on mine.
yeah.
Mhm.
Training got taken down a little bit. It was budgeted for 1,500 and we knocked it down to 500. No one's doing any training?
It was, largely used by, well, most of your trainings are not,
I haven't been going to him, he went to some conference.
yeah, he went
Okay.
to a bunch.
I mean, your actual is $35,
See, they did a
so
lot of good.
Well, wasn't Anthony going to a bunch of stuff too?
he was.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, a new person may.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess we can.
A lot of them though are no cost too.
So we dropped,
Would we be better off at least put that at 1,000 if they're gonna hire a new person? This starts August or July 1 for a whole year, should we?
Well,
I don't wanna add anything, but
conferences too,
yeah,
not just, I mean.
Not
get
just training.
There too.
yeah, I think the conferences came out of different, or maybe it did come out of that line.
No, the conferences came out
you
of
know, you
that.
couldn't have gone to a lot, he only spent $454.
Well, I think the year before was.
1,400.
Yeah.
Year
Oh,
before
no,
was
sorry.
719.
No, that's clerk supplies, line above, 14.
So I'm
14 is
sorry,
training.
excuse me, 14, yeah.
I think it's fine for 500 for now.
And if it gets overspent,
Yeah, exactly. Clerk supplies, you have that?
You sound like our legislature.
Yeah, seriously.
yeah, it'll come out in the wash.
Yeah, how come that's half?
Yeah, why?
It's,
Because I don't buy my
Thanks.
books for my land records out of there, it comes out of my record restoration fund,
Ah,
where
okay.
all the money that goes in there is from the money I make for doing recordings.
Okay.
okay,
So that way I'm supporting the land records by themselves and it's not coming out of.
Oh, it's written right there in red. Sorry.
She gets some toner and certified paper, certified paper.
next line up, treasurer supply, just, you spent 2854 last year and you're halfway through the year you're gonna spend about 2,900, should
We
we,
spend close to 3,000.
should we put that to 3?
What are you looking at?
Treasurer
Treasurer
supplies.
supplies.
I have no idea, cause he bought a desk and a chair and
Okay, leave it at 25.
Who bought a desk and chair?
You see me, I've
Anthony.
still got plenty of stuff to give away.
It's a nice desk too.
Joel's got desks coming out of his truck. Okay, postage.
65 for Dominion Tech and that's.
Yeah, that's all worked out. That's the formula. Oh, no, it's not that's not a formula.
Darla, you're being awful quiet. Are you keeping up?
I'm listening. I'm keeping up,
She's passed
Okay.
out.
I didn't know, maybe you were
drinking my
taking this
tea.
move.
You're asking all the questions I would ask. So
I like the miscellaneous, late fee for late report.
ruh-roh.
Okay. Listers.
Maybe they wanted more money.
All right, talk about the listers. Wait, does not include the listers proposal.
Right, does not.
Right. I recommend we discuss their
An executive.
proposal in executive session, and I have an alternative spreadsheet that shows what it would look like.
Okay.
Just to let folks know, all of the personnel tabs, there's a separate, all the personnel lines, there's a separate tab behind all this. And that 3% was plugged in as
Okay.
a cost of living.
Well, what? Okay. Well, so wait, it's at 60, where did the? How did it get, how is it at 64? Because it's 106% higher. Where does that does not include their proposal. So how did that jump so much? Where did that come from?
Does that have the,
Because we
person we
bought,
got 20 hours a week?
No, that's professional fees, that's down below, that's at 25,920.
I'm just curious why that's so much. Because we budgeted, the 2023-24 is 31,000 and now it's 64,000. So does that include their proposal?
It does not.
Okay,
I'd have to,
Yeah,
Stop
cause
sharing.
they're on track to be 30,000. They're halfway through
Yeah.
and they're at 14 or 15. And that's double.
if you'll allow me to stop sharing for a moment, and I will
we
check.
will allow that.
Let's see.
No, it does. It includes their new one. That's what it is.
Ian, what did they spend the year?
Looking into
before?
personnel, it's in the 2025.
What did they spend the year before?
For what?
I know what they spent, bigger said
32,
the year before.
30, yeah,
For salary?
31.
Yeah.
31 and they're at 14.9 now.
That's
Yeah.
budgeted. I was trying to get,
Oh, what they
your
spent.
January to your April is your busiest month.
2023,
I was trying to get that.
26,906.
That's what it is.
Okay. Because your January to April is your busiest time.
This year, it's,
For May.
it's budgeted at
And
31.
right now,
And they're
the
at
14 is
20
only from
Maybe
July
it's because
1st.
I upped the hours. I think that's what it is. I increased their hours.
You doubled them?
they're at 20 hours. They're actually working more than 20 hours right now per week. And so that's why it changed, because I think earlier it was 10 hours a week, maybe. What was it last year? Yeah, last year they were 10 hour, budgeted at 10 hours a week. Now it's each, and now it's 20 hours per week, but they're actually working more than that. That's why it's increased like that, double.
They're actually what right now?
They're working more than
But
that.
then how come the actuals aren't more?
Aren't showing.
Well, I do not know. So let me.
No, it's not the hours, it's, you're pulling from FY, oh no, sorry. Hang on. Why is that, what is that coming from? B75, B78.
It does make sense if they're working twice the hours, that the amount would be twice as much, but the
Right.
actuals aren't.
No, but also
Keep it up.
So let me just.
yeah, your hours in there are still 20.
Well, this is last year. They're at 10 hours up here. So that's last year. And now I'm scrolling down quickly. Now they're at 20. And plus the 3%. And that's where we get that.
Okay.
That's
Yep.
that's that. Don't want to linger on that too much. Yeah,
Well,
Okay.
that's all public information, though.
I know.
Darrell, you still with us?
She probably had to go get more tea
All right. so
or get
let's
rid of
see.
some tea, one of the two.
31, 10, 16.
All right, we're back. Although ALIF has not been utilized as much as we expected, so you can probably find some.
Is that because we don't have enough work for him, or he's so busy other places?
No, they're just being very strategic on what they
Oh.
assign to him. So he's working on very specific things.
Okay.
And they're doing a lot more than they expected, and so he's just doing very handpicked
Okay.
items.
Like I
So maybe
mentioned,
we can lower that.
Are the legal fees, why are they at zero? I mean, not that they've ever had legal fees, but
I think that has to do with grievances maybe, or,
you should
Not
get,
unless it goes further than.
right,
further than
and legal fees will really come into effect the year after you do appraisal. Townwide reappraisal, that's normally when you have your appeals to the Supreme Court or State Board of Appraisers.
Yeah, it goes past the BCA.
Right.
So
And
we've
even then-
only spent 10% of what? And that was last year, that's not even this year.
Yeah, I haven't paid ALIF in a long time,
yeah,
So then,
so they're not even using it right now.
yeah, I was gonna say that, that's
Can we bump
his
that-
whole,
Can we bump that to 20?
his whole salary is gone, or everything we were gonna pay him has gone up above, and we still carrying him.
all right. I would recommend cutting that back.
To 20, maybe?
So it's budgeted at 48 weeks, I just made it 20.
Made it 20 weeks or?
Yeah, 20 weeks instead of 48 weeks.
10, 8. It's about half.
8 hours a week.
12 was about half.
So what do you think?
I mean, if we're not using them, and we didn't use them the first year either.
Not much.
Well, we didn't hire him until partly
Late.
through the year,
It was
that
like,
first year, so.
Yeah, and I know they used him for firehouse.
yeah, I imagine that, and Blue Forest building, the big steel building mine at first,
Mhm.
they will.
The bigger commercial
Yeah,
complicated things.
That they weren't
Yeah.
comfortable with.
Right, I totally get that.
yep.
I would just say cut it in half, whatever half is.
You make her change the formula again.
I mean, I just think if they
Yeah.
do start to use them, I'd rather have the money in there than
Yeah,
come up short.
and the fact I have been using them, it just sporadically.
Right.
You paid me the hour, right?
What?
We pay by the hour.
No, I'm sorry.
No, the listers are.
Yeah.
They submit 20 hours even though they're supposed to put in, like, say,
Okay.
10.
Yeah, they're paid by the hour.
So mileage went up. Mileage went up by 50%, not just traveling around to various locations and such.
Could we go back to that salary one? So we asked Sharon to not, we don't need it tonight, but give to Valerie, what was from January 1 to December 31st
Of what?
of all the hours to Lister's office? I know you said they're working more than 10, they're working closer
Oh,
to
yeah.
20.
Oh, yeah.
But in the summer months, I know they're not working. Could we get an idea of what they're, and divide it by 12 and say, and just get an idea
Sure.
of what the hourly is? I like Valerie's proposal of 20 hours more, but it may not be 20 hours every week.
Right.
It may be more like 15 every week on average, or 18.
Yep, I understand.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
I'll ask Chris to do it tomorrow.
Is it down
Because
again?
he's gonna be. Is it on, actually on heat?
No, it is on heat. It's on like 72. I guess 72 is cold now.
Oh,
Yeah.
73.
No, I usually have mine at 74,
Bump it up on it. That'll roast it.
just to keep.
I was
just-
warm up until.
I know, it keeps changing. So mileage, you've increased mileage a little bit. Looks like it's because our actual is 404. We bumped it up to 450.
What is that?
Well, actually, they did.
Yeah, listers, throwing listers.
Yeah, they.
Oh, they did, sorry.
Yeah, they put, these are their numbers.
And then training, we've got, that's much larger now, but then there is a reserve fund for training.
Right.
What does that mean? You got a special reserve fund for training?
That didn't sound good.
Yeah.
I mean,
A
where's that
cynical
go?
laugh from the back of the room.
No, we didn't hear anything.
I mean, I know it's not a tremendous amount of money, but just when you look at that percentage, you're like, so what's going on with that? Cause
They'll
our,
go to training,
yeah, that's, I mean, I
they'll
find, it's-
go for April 1st.
yeah, I guess because
all
we
day
budgeted
training.
100 and we're already at 225, so we're way over, so they're bumping that
Yeah.
up a little bit, okay. Supplies. They've gone over the supplies, so we're, okay.
So if there's a reserve fund for training, how come?
How could they go over?
I don't, well, let's see, it's got almost $3,000, $2,927 in it right now. For
And
this
how do we
education
put,
fund.
how do we put money in that fund? How's it?
Yeah,
how does
that's what I was
how
gonna-
does that
It's
fund-
just been sitting there for a decade, just collecting interest.
What's it called?
So nothing's been
The
added to
Lister
it?
Education Grant Fund. There must have been a grant. It was
It was
put into a
years
reserve
ago.
fund.
I applied for that.
Can we find one that was given to the town like back in the 1900s and then it's got a couple million sitting in there or something? Do we have that?
We'd burn it up.
And I remind them from time to time that they have this fund, so.
So we could theoretically
Zero that and they would
zero
just use
that
yeah.
and use that up.
Yeah.
Or
We can hear you back there, you know?
I'd put it as actual, what we budgeted last year at least, $300. And then use the,
Yeah. And we can, this comment, I'll bold that and then I'll add some, there we go.
Cryptic comments? Why aren't you using it?
Yes. Reminding you.
please
He's
use it.
She's saving it for her Hawaii trip, right?
Easy.
Right, Sharon?
So are you, did you want to change that number? Actually, they put that number in.
Well, if there's an actual fund, it's
Uh-huh.
called the training fund for the listers.
Uh-huh.
They should use that.
I agree.
And we shouldn't have a training line for them if there's an actual
I
fund.
mean, at least until they spend down that.
Yes,
$3.
yes. So I would put that to zero. I know it's only $500, but if there's a fund for it, let's do that. Okay. Supplies.
And Sharon, of the 220 something that's already shown as actuals, could they get transferred, allocated to that fund? Retroactive?
Do you want me to
Five.
transfer it to the
to
That's
the-
line
Well,
144.
if they,
144?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I mean, let's use it. If it's just gonna sit there and no one's gonna use it, there's no point in Like, let's, if we
And
can't
we
move it,
know, does that fund have a number?
Yeah, sure.
what other funds don't we know about? Come on, there's gotta be a bunch of them.
So
No,
we're
I
gonna
don't
select
think there
board, say
is.
here's your increase in salary.
Yeah, that's what we should use.
I run the numbers for that. I'll tell you all about when we get to that. How many hours we've worked.
Joel, you got his numbers?
I got Moncton's and I never got from Pittsburgh, but I've got them all.
Good, excellent.
Pittsburgh, we got Brandon's.
All right, so we got our software that's bumped up a little bit. Equipment. They don't need any equipment?
Well, usually it's software. It's usually
They
software.
filled that closet, so they're not allowed anymore. Okay,
It's usually software and computers. that
Oh,
we
okay.
need, So,
all right, so we've got our line for that.
So Sharon, they have a telephone line.
Yeah.
They didn't pay anything. We don't do that. We don't move any
No,
money.
it's
No,
part
it's
of
all-
general.
All general now?
Yeah.
Okay.
so
I remember we did that a few years ago. That's
we
why
moved it to general.
Yeah.
everything is.
Everything goes to general.
So, you know, legal fees, blah, 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 okay. So obviously we got a big percentage and that's because of the salary line, yeah. Planning and zoning,
Okay, I really wanna know why that our DRB has not been paid.
because
we
they
don't
don't
submit
know
their-
how to,
They don't submit their hours.
But that's Chris's
yeah,
job. Not that they make a ton of money.
no, but it'd be nice to pay them. I mean, they do.
Did they get paid last year, $2,015? All of
That's
it?
a negative number. I don't, why would?
Well, yeah, I don't know why.
That's budgeted.
Well, it's a static number.
What do you mean by
So
that?
it's not counted. Cause it's included in that 24,000.
No.
It's just broken
Well,
out.
we spent 99.90 already, 9,900.
But that's Chris's salary and,
Oh,
right?
Right,
okay.
But only the zoning salary.
right.
Yeah, right. only so.
And not, yeah, so that his assistant clerk treasurer stuff gets charged off to
Yeah,
that.
Mhm.
I still think they ought to have a zoning administrator line. And then a planning and DRB line, personally.
Explain that?
No, have a salary line for the DRB and the PC and.
Well,
Well, I
then
mean,
if
that kind of
they-
is, that's what meeting pay is, but can we could say,
Right, okay, then it's under meeting pay, yeah.
Yeah, but we don't have a number in there.
We don't, we have a negative.
No, that's not a negative number. It's
It's
just,
just-
it's just showing that $2,015
Comes out
was
of that
included in that
24.
24,000.
So where you've got 2,200 for this year, is that also included in the 24,273?
No, because that's just the salary line, for
Okay.
personnel.
right, because that's,
Okay.
it pulls, yeah, that pulls from your
Yeah.
personnel tab. So the 22, do we know that that's accurate in terms of pay for planning commission, DRB and minutes taker?
I do not know. The minutes taker, it's hard to estimate.
I
It
don't
is hard,
even know
'cause
who
it's-
the minute taker is anymore, if there is one.
It's Carol.
Well, isn't she done?
No, she's.
Oh, the other one got done. Somebody's
Yeah,
done.
the other one got done.
Correct,
Somebody got done.
Peggy got done.
correct. So, but how do we pay Carol? Is she an hourly rate? Is she?
Yeah, hourly, $20 an hour.
So
Okay,
back to the salary line. For 24,024 last year, we budgeted.
yeah,
And so we only gave it you said a 3% raise. I know the meeting pay comes out of it. But it's only 1%. Is that enough? Or
We were over,
we were,
we only spent 19, or we only spent 20 and we budgeted 24.
right,
That's because Krista, I don't think he worked his full.
correct, agreed.
So,
But if I took the 24,024 and added 3%, I come up with 24,700 and change. My guess, what I'm saying is, should it be that minus the 2,200 for meeting pay? So out of the salary line is just the zoning administrator and the minute taker.
Hang on.
no. The salary line, looking at it, Val, it's your 23-24. Sorry, it's 24-25, and it does include the 3,
that 24,273 includes the 3?
correct?
Yeah.
According to looking at it here.
Oh, I took 24. $24,024 that we budgeted last year. And I come up with 24,745. Is that what you come up with?
No, because well, it's not 20, that first number, the budget last year is not what is in the personnel line. It's lower than that. It's 23,566.
That's right, so the rest is either minute taker or.
Oh, okay.
Meeting pay. or
All right,
something,
okay.
No, it's not in that, that isn't in that line.
Right.
That line.
So you took the
is
23,
only the zoning
566.
administrator salary.
Not this one. She said that includes.
Oh, I
that.
see.
That's what he,
Oh,
that's what he
oh,
said.
so we do need to split that up. Yes, sorry.
I mean, this one right now, the one that one you're on, just
Yes.
includes his salary line. item.
Got it.
Under the
Yes,
first
Yeah.
line.
yes.
I mean,
Yeah,
so then, so the meeting pay have also the minute taker in there.
Yeah, but I think you're right, Jill. I think we need to split it out and we just need to get an accurate number if we can.
Mhm.
I mean, I know it's hard because PC and DRB depends on what meetings they attend and things like that, but we should be able to get a rough
So you
number.
want separate lines for each one?
No, I think,
No,
I think the meeting, what we have, 159, I think works. We just want to make sure that,
it includes all of them.
yeah,
It
that
says right-
it includes what it says in the notes.
Right.
Yeah, so, yeah, includes everything, what it says in the notes.
Okay.
And if we budget for everybody attend every meeting,
Yeah, exactly. That's what.
and
you
then
would
it's
budget for,
it's under Picker's undesignated fund balance. If they don't all attend, we have a little,
Well, and you.
We got $1,000 we can play with.
You don't know how many meetings you're gonna have.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
they
It's a
could have one a
DRB
month,
as
they could
needed.
have
Right.
Yeah,
Or they
one
could
in
have a
6
heck of a
months.
lot.
yeah,
So you don't have any formulas in that line to carry that to your total?
no. Carried it to the total?
it's just a
No,
number.
it adds
2,200
to the
comes out of that
bottom.
24.
Yeah,
It does that?
It's added into the bottom, yeah, down at the
It's down
total
there.
planning and zoning,
Yeah.
that, it'll be in there,
It's in there.
Okay.
because that's a formula.
Okay, so let's look at through this. Anything jump out? Supplies. Looks like he's worked through. Bump that up. That's the email. Why is his IT isn't your formula? You might want to add that in there.
I don't know what's in that 2,600.
So software and IT support.
Well, it should only be what is in
He's
the
also,
notes.
he gets charged a NEMRIC proportion for his access to be able to access NEMRIC, I think.
Okay,
Oh, we all get that.
And I don't think I pay. I don't think I'm,
There's a split.
okay. It'd be good to have the code, that formula in there.
you know, the same one that that's up here.
Yeah, you've used it in a few areas. I would like to see it consistent throughout, if we can. Because you have the same IT and software subscriptions.
Valerie, why
I think there's some other,
there's a yellow note there says why 2% town administrator allocation?
yeah.
Does not make sense.
For some reason,
We spent,
So that really, that took that down to 1,300 instead of 26, so.
Yeah, but if there's a NEMRIC charge in there for everybody, are we not calculating it right? Should there be
Well-
more of a budget in there than that, what we're doing?
The clerk's office and lister's office gets the annual disaster charges. Let's see. Software, the Marshall Switch software goes to listers. The annual support agreement is, no, listers, clerks and planning. So I guess she's been off the hook. She hasn't been getting anything.
right. Do you know what was going into planning?
Well, planning was 1,808 for the annual support.
Wow.
Okay, so maybe that's not gonna, right, because if you look at the actual, it's 2,505.
Yeah,
So we
this is
can't use-
1,808 for the annual support agreement, and then we get charged cloud services.
So there's a lot more in there than what we're putting.
well, it's up to 32 of your formula now.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, she added the $1,800.
Right.
so that's better.
Well, it's not better, but it's.
Right, sorry.
It's more
It's
realistic.
More
more
realistic.
accurate.
That's a
It's still
number.
accurate.
Planning services, we're not sure what that
That's
is.
Aspen County Regional Planning, that's what we usually pay them every year, but that's under, so is the planning commission under planning and zoning too, right? Is that part of?
No, this is for just general things. It's not specifically for the regional planning commission.
That's not the contract we have with them?
Correct. That's a separate thing.
And that's a-
Although if
So
we
that's
do
not the
hire-
5,000 a separate thing?
If we do hire them for a specific project, such as the bylaw modernization, and if we need matching funds for a grant, it would come out of that.
So can we, in the note, it's a question mark, can we not?
But it's not needed.
Okay, so let's
I
change this.
don't know who put it there.
Well,
Wait, the
in
question
2
mark-
years, in 3 years, we spent $1,375. Do we need to continue to make it 5,000?
I would keep it as a standing availability for projects and things.
So if it's,
Like, because if we don't,
Cut 500,000.
well, no, Joel, if we just, we're doing the bylaws and we're gonna miss the match,
yeah, that would come out.
that's gonna happen.
Okay.
Yeah, the match will come out of
Yeah.
there.
We just don't know. That's,
So ACRPC, anything else? Any other notes that we want to put in there that might be? Any other organization or?
No,
Okay.
you just don't know.
Okay.
It's more like an opportunity line.
Okay,
Here's your meeting one there, but we moved it to
Yeah.
the meeting.
well, it's not
pay.
moved to it's not moved to salaries.
It should be moved to meeting pay.
So
Yeah.
that's why if that's,
This one up here, the 24.
because that number is down below, I didn't want it to be double counted, so I made it, so it's not readable as a number.
All right, so we actually, so there it moved to salaries,
What I should have done is this.
then moved to new line.
Are you moving that? Are you moving that, Valerie? Who's moving?
no,
it?
no,
We're both there.
that's Ian,
Oh, okay.
Where?
We're both tinkering.
Moving what?
No, I
She took
just,
the
I just changed
2015.
to brackets rather than parentheses.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and I changed.
Parentheses does
I
indicate
changed that.
negative.
That's me.
Yeah,
So I'm just saying that we moved to salaries. I guess it was in the, I can put in the for,
put in the line number.
Ian, I gotta ask, what does GC stand for? You got a little blue thing that says GC.
it's guest contributor. 'Cause
Oh, okay.
we're not- We don't have official select board or accounts, so we can't log in. and ourselves.
Okay.
I wondered the same thing for a while.
I'm trying to call.
So move to salaries 23-24, then move to new line, and now we're putting that in, and that's for 24-25. So when we revisit this in 12 months, we'll be like, oh, that's what we did. That's great. 24.
Yeah,
Provided we have actuals in those lines.
Should it, yeah.
Don't jinx us. We might have actuals by then.
So Val, the attorney's fees line 180, is that just for planning and zoning, or is that for, like, I'm just thinking, I mean, you have Kevin Brennan, we have Kevin Brown, is that covered under there, or is that covered under something?
I'm guessing that has to do with appeals, and if something goes to environmental court, that's my guess.
This is a double in here. We got here and here. Is that the same thing? Oh, I see. Oops. Oh. What's the Monahan bond vote expenses?
Well, I was gonna ask the same question.
They didn't go in there, I don't know where, they're going to 243, I think the note said.
Yeah, 234.
Is that
Which
a
is the
note?
Pine Street.
Is that a note from this year?
I didn't like that.
No, I think it must have been a holdover.
I'm gonna delete that then.
Yeah.
Because it just confuses us.
So it,
I saw that, so I checked the account, but it went.
so it got billed to the Pine Street water.
Yeah, it went to where it was supposed to, it
Okay.
wasn't in the.
It's not part of that 3,000.
no.
No, I have a feeling some of that was Kevin Brown, with some general questions.
Yeah, there was a bunch of line bills in there.
Yeah.
Meetings and elections.
Thank you, my heart thanks you.
You gotta pay your salary.
Okay, so we're up a little bit there. So what do we got?
General election, well, you
Yeah.
got 2 this year,
Oh,
every
I
other
know.
year.
Well, actually, I have one in this current fiscal year,
And then,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I have 3 in the next
Yeah.
fiscal
So
year.
yeah, is that gonna be okay?
Should be based on what we've done before.
Okay.
August, November, and March, right?
August, November, and March, yep.
Wanted to do one.
And if you're gonna do,
We're gonna
because
do the,
August, we'll
the
have to do for a
regs.
local election.
you're gonna have more,
Yeah, I might
More
have to add some
supplies.
more for my LHS and my tag layer unless we do a hand count.
for your election supplies or your
Do you want-
election workers?
Do you want, well, do you
No,
want,
for the actual local ballot. If it's just one question, we could just do a hand count because it's gonna be yes or no,
yeah,
instead of spending the money to do a
Copy it.
fancy.
Yeah.
Print your own ballots.
Mhm.
all right, so we're good with that. Town officers, hey, all right, Joel, make your case. For select board salaries.
I just,
What was your number? I'm curious what the numbers were. That you.
I didn't bring them in. I
Well, you haven't
apologize.
even, I mean, the 7,000, in the actuals, the prior year actuals, it didn't even come close to it.
Yeah, well, that can't be right.
No, that can't be right.
There's no way that's right. I mean, we
Um,
don't, we're getting paid right now. We used to get paid
I
just
bet
one time
that's
a year
about-
and then get our,
Yeah, they get paid.
get
I
the
mean,
meeting pay
yeah.
separately.
Right there's gotta be 2,500 just the meeting pay, times 500 times 5, and it's only 2265.
Well, here's some meetings data.
Well,
Go on.
no, you should be paid through the end of June.
We
I
got
haven't
paid,
you.
we got paid through the end of June. We haven't gotten paid
You
the
haven't gotten
second
paid.
half.
Yeah.
You know, we
Yeah,
were
but-
getting paid just.
I'm looking back 2 years, you guys, 22, 23,
No, that's not right.
$2,500. At 2265, and it should be a minimum there, 2,500, because we get 500 and plus $15 a meeting.
Yeah, well, the meeting pay, it should be under the meeting pay unless that's not, unless it's all. in the
That's a new
same-
line.
It's all in the
Yeah.
same line.
So in terms of meetings, so 2023, we had 31 meetings, including town meeting and our annual road trip. And all those meetings, excluding executive session, was 78 hours. I took all the numbers for all the meetings from the videos and added them up.
$2.51 an hour.
So
Well-
you just gave me those, you said 31 meetings.
31 meetings, including the town meeting and our annual trip,
Yeah.
and that equals
And then I added-
78 hours.
Yeah, well, I just took that 31 meetings times $15 times 5,
Yeah.
and then I took the 2,500, because there's 5 of us,
Yep,
the 500. We're not even spending, we're still
right.
under that 7, so
So we are under 7.
Well, yeah,
So why is
it's
it?
48.25, what he just told me.
for all of
Plus
us.
the chair
Chair
gets
gets
25.
Right.
And also, I think,
We do that, too.
didn't the minute taker all the years come out of that line also? I think the minute taker always came out of that.
Oh,
line,
okay.
too.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Then how come we're not
She's talking
spending
about
it?
now.
How come we're not even coming close to spending it?
Well, we can.
Hey, we don't even have to put it up. We just have to spend
Spend
what we
what we
budgeted.
got.
Oh, right, this is great.
So I'm not sure that another meeting pay line item should go in this section if there's gonna be one in planning. And there's already the select board salaries here. I think meeting pay looks redundant here.
Well, unless, I mean, the salaries are really $500 right
Right.
now, so
Yeah.
technically the salaries are
2,500.
2,500. And then the meeting pay is different
Oh.
because
Yeah.
each person goes differently, you know, like Joel could miss a meeting, I could miss a meeting.
Yeah,
so our
Joel
numbers are
played
different.
sick for how long there and missed.
Yeah.
I missed one meeting. And they hadn't replaced me yet, as Addison said.
So, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, I think the meeting
Yeah,
pay is a
to be-
good idea, so you know,
Yes.
like, okay, what are we spending in meetings?
31 meetings times 15 times 4, and then add 25 times 31 meetings, and the $2,500 is 5135 salaries last year.
But you're also paying the secretary $20 an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just paid her a couple weeks ago, $920. And then in October, we paid $630, so she's your most expensive piece.
Yeah, she gets paid more than we get paid.
Maybe,
Holy
Michelle.
crap.
you-
I think I'm gonna quit and be a minute taker.
There you go.
No. I think this is easier than minute taking.
Yeah, I
Oh,
would,
no.
I would have to agree.
Cause all you gotta do is listen to the video
No, I
and just
know.
start
It's true.
typing.
In the
Yeah.
I mean,
comfy,
not that it's
I know.
easy.
comfy chair with a glass of wine.
That's
I know,
right.
true.
Music playing.
Anytime you wanna do it.
Day
Well,
night.
so I don't think we need to propose a change to our budget, because we're already budgeted over what we're
Well,
actually spending.
Depends on how much we're paying
But also
her.
depends if
If
we
we've
wanna
already
change
paid
our
her-
salaries.
Would you say 600 and 900?
Yeah, but where was
630
it
and
coming from
920.
before? The last 2 years?
I don't know.
Out of that.
Out of that.
Wow.
We didn't have one for a while.
No, yeah, but even,
But when I
even
was
so,
doing it, it wasn't showing up here, it was part of my salary.
Right.
Ah, okay, so that's part of it, okay. It's complicated.
Obviously, we didn't pay her last year out of the
Yeah,
twenty-two
because it's only-
sixty-five.
Well, Sharon was doing it.
but
Well,
even
yeah,
still,
but
it's
2265
$2,500,
whatever.
5 times 5 is 25.
We could have,
Well,
we
there
should have,
is one from last June that was paid that went to the wrong account, and it should be moved. Cause it's in the admin secretary salary.
But even the year
Which
before,
we don't have an admin secretary.
So
even
that's
the
where
year
that
before,
line
when
is.
somebody else was doing it, the
That's where
number's
that-
not
that
right.
explains what
That's
that
the
is.
610.
Oh, my goodness. There you go.
Okay.
if we paid ourselves, and I'm not proposing it yet,
Joel's proposing this. everyone.
no, but I'm just using a number where most,
Yeah.
all the other boards make a minimum of
It's
$1,000.
in the- But it's in our thing to talk about, right? Right. If we
Yes.
get there, so we wanna keep.
Yeah,
moving.
let's
Yeah, we
keep
need to
moving.
keep moving.
It'd be
Okay.
about $600 of what we've been budgeting for years under
Yeah.
select board pay.
Town parks. Electricity's going, actuals 1091. Why are we putting that up? What is the electricity?
We're only halfway and we're gonna be, look like we're gonna spend $2,200 in the end.
Yeah, but previous year's actual was 1675.
You know,
I guess so, yeah, okay, yeah. Anything else?
I'd increase it to
Jumping up.
17.
Sycamore Park Portalet, that's jumping up in price, it looks like.
You know what ain't cheap?
And also, we might be paying the larger rate for the ADA accessible
Ah, okay.
unit.
5,000 for maintenance, rubbish removal, additional pickups are charged here, good.
How come we didn't pay anything in 2023 for tree planting and maintenance?
COVID.
Okay,
Or your unanticipated funds.
did you stop calling them different names?
I call 'em- I'm gonna.
Call them as I see them,
I'm
right?
gonna
Just keep
confuse
making
you.
up names.
I'm
yeah.
gonna have you so confused,
We'll just
and
call it
then
the
you'll
town of
call them
Bristol,
undesignated funds when I get all.
town of
done.
Bristol slush fund.
Well, according to the 22 audit, there's, well, I don't wanna say those numbers, because
No.
I don't know if those.
We
are
don't know
accurate.
if they're right.
Yeah.
Do we know anything is right on this? No, that doesn't mean any disrespect to you, I'm just saying, we don't know what numbers are in here.
No,
We
these
haven't had
are-
a treasurer in
these are
6,
really
8
good.
months.
So,
Well,
all
we're
right,
trying to
Holly
budget, we don't
Hall.
know, well, I got recoded to something else.
Okay,
So unless, things really leap out to folks,
Yeah.
I think we can just keep rolling along.
yeah, absolutely. Who's put in all these numbers?
Who put in the numbers? I put in a bunch.
Has anyone else put in numbers though? I mean.
Sharon put in a
these-
bunch.
Okay,
And the different departments, like, Chris put in some of his and Mary.
yeah, but I mean, for Haven Hall and Holly Hall, and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that, I'm just curious.
I think line 242, building maintenance. If we could afford to put a $500 more in it, you know, we know we got slate work to do now, we don't know how much insurance gonna cover.
Well, this is Howden. That you're.
Okay,
And
I'm sorry.
also, we discussed having
Were we
those
paying for
kinds
the
of,
sign?
we enlarged the buildings reserve fund
Correct.
to the buildings and maintenance reserve fund.
That's true.
For,
we
for
did.
the
You're right.
larger types of
You're right.
non-operating
Right.
budget
Correct.
types of
Yeah, we
repairs.
just need to make sure we put enough money in there to cover all that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one went down, that's
Which one?
the Howden Hall.
I mean, right now, we only spent, well, we're still on line to spend about $3,400.
$700, but where did that 700 come from?
The liability.
All the
Um,
insurance.
I think I
change.
put that at 35, we've already up 1755 halfway. What'd you think, Valerie? 242? We're on budget to spend about $3,500 and 10,
Is that where the
35,
sign's
10.
coming out of, the building maintenance line out
uh,
of, having.
probably, yeah. I mean,
So that'll be the sign will come out of there, so.
3,500?
Well, we're already
Well,
halfway,
No, I think that'll.
or
come out
does
of
sign
this
come
year's
out of that
budget.
1755? Or is the sign done yet?
Once it stops.
That would just come out of this year's budget. I'm just looking at the number. It's
Oh, okay.
17.5, and some of that will be the sign coming out.
Yeah, which is only like max of $500.
But what I'm saying is I'm just kind of going about halfway. We're halfway through the year at 1755. So right there, just if we keep
Well,
on that same pace.
Mowing was a part of it.
Mowing, the lift
Yeah,
service, the
lift,
furnace.
No, I think it seems like we'll be okay with that, I think.
Yeah, because the mowing for the rest of this fiscal year would just be May and June,
Yeah,
so that wouldn't be a lot.
You may almost as, you mow
Maybe,
almost as much
depends
as.
on our weather.
Well, you mow almost as much as May and June as you do you mow a third in May and June than you do the rest.
Yeah, but if the lift service has already been done,
That's
that
right.
won't be
And the
there.
furnace has already been done.
Mhm.
I would
If the
assume.
lift continues to work correctly.
No.
right, that's true. Public safety, we got a little note about in, streetlights, 252, consider new stony pole lights.
Yeah,
They aren't working right now, so.
Done, there we go.
I got that under my select board concerns. Anyway.
well, because looking at the prior expenses, the actuals seemed,
Yeah, those should be very efficient lights. They
Yeah.
are. They're not burning any power at all.
Not right
That's right, they're
now.
very efficient.
How come you got two cursors up there?
yeah, mine one.
We got
you're-
Michelle, me, and
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And,
Check, maybe
I'm just
check.
trying
Figure
to
how's your-
scroll.
Figure I'll look on with your computer.
Yeah.
Okay? You and I'll
I'm
look
just
on.
Are
scrolling,
you
I'm
in
not
it too?
putting numbers.
I'm not in it.
Oh, okay. Someone else is.
Sharon says, you ain't blaming me for
It's
nothing.
easier for me to see here than up
Oh,
there.
I see, so that, okay, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Well, there was one and then the second one started floating around and I'm like,
sorry.
So since nothing's changed from the fire department,
Yeah, we don't need to go through that,
okay,
or at least that's my opinion.
yeah, so.
The cemetery care line, that's for all the others, not the Greenwood. That's for
So
all our
I'm gonna
other
ask the
towns.
question again. We paid out health insurance in 21, 22, and now we've got zero because nobody's taking it.
Correct.
So we don't pay that $4,000 like we do other employees that,
No,
no,
Okay.
because they're not town employees.
but we pay their health
Well,
insurance.
there was a separate
No, we
arrangement
don't.
somehow.
We did.
At that
We
particular
reimburse.
time,
Correct. It's a reimbursement.
yeah.
So-
Okay, we reimbursed the
So-
library.
So the library, so that the board doesn't have to deal with health insurance by themselves. They come to the town purchases the health insurance, depending on what the
librarian.
librarian, the director position wants and chooses to do.
She
And
gets
then-
to choose, she doesn't get to choose her plan. She goes on what plan we're on.
Correct,
Right.
yes. It's a narrow amount of plans. The person picks and then we are reimbursed by the library out of their budget. That's how they do it.
So do they reimburse us the workers' comp, disability?
Yes, they should do all of that, right? Sharon, it's
If they're
their,
taking it.
yes.
I don't know when the last time that we charged them, because.
And so-
Coco stopped taking the help.
Correct. So what Coco did was not take the health insurance and then she would be paid.
So we were
from the library
reimbursed.
budget. Yes,
Under revenue,
correct.
but then we wrote part of our insurance when Sharon writes the big check was 5233.
Correct.
Part of that was for the library. Where do we show the revenue?
It's in the very top.
Okay, it was said to library 11. I don't.
The
need to
It
scroll.
says
reimbursement from
zero
the
there,
library,
yeah.
But it's been zero.
Okay, all right.
It's under reimbursements to the town, library personnel benefits reimbursement.
Okay.
Zero.
And it's
Okay.
zero at the top and it's zero there because the new person chose not to take. They
Yeah, but
could-
we
they could
have
change
workers'
their
comp in
minds.
here is 1,200, so
Yeah,
does that come back out from them?
I question that too. I don't know why we're paying their workers' comp.
We shouldn't be.
No, we shouldn't be. It should be completely separate. We offer the service to do it for it, to go through with the town.
Although oddly, let's see,
But their budget should cover all of that, and actually I can look at their budget.
can you? Oh, yeah, you can see that. Okay, good. I thought I had to stop sharing in order to switch.
No, because they're in the same window.
Yeah, so this is the VLCT spreadsheet. And, there's the library right there under workers' comp. So for some reason, VLCT is charging us. And I don't know why.
That should
Do
be.
we pay her salary?
No,
No.
so I had no idea, so. But
But
it's,
it should be
I've
up for
never billed them
VLCT.
for
What was
workers'
that?
comp.
Okay,
Well, they should be,
They-
they should be billed, or we need to find out why we're being charged, because
Yeah.
she doesn't get a paycheck from us.
No, but the building's covered. Whenever they need a certificate of liability, I have to get it from VLCT because they're covered under our policy.
Right, the insurance, I get that,
The building insurance.
but,
But workers' comp, I don't.
yeah, we need to figure that
I don't
out.
know.
We shouldn't be paying hers, because I wonder if they're paying hers. I wonder if they're paying too.
yeah, or double.
Would it be through VLTC if she was paying it though?
Probably.
It would be something, it would be a private.
Sharon,
I don't know.
how do they know what to write us a check for health insurance?
Well, if they take
take
it,
if they take
then
it.
we send them an invoice.
So should we have invoiced them for health and workman's comp? And now just invoice them for workman's comp? Was it
But I
missing
didn't know
on
about
our?
workman's comp.
No, I'm not blaming
Yeah.
nobody here, I'm just,
No,
should we have?
yeah, we should.
Should that invoice when we were billing for
Short-term,
health, should have said workman's comp too?
Well, that's the upper line says employee benefits.
so in their budget, they have, this is the library budget for this year. They have salary line, they have a payroll taxes line, retirement line, insurance line. And that's it.
So they don't.
Well, maybe that workers'
don't
comp
pay
is
workers'
insurance.
comp?
No, it's insurance.
Well, I guess we need to ask them what their insurance includes, because if we're paying it, and are they paying it,
Mhm,
you know, or should they be reimbursing us?
right.
I mean, I don't know, I mean, I can see why they would put her under ours, just so, because it would be pretty expensive to put her under their own.
Which is fine, I mean,
And if it comes out of our budget anyway,
Yes.
because it's a
It's a-
library line, but
Yeah.
if they're already paying it, then we're paying it twice.
Right.
yes, we don't wanna do that.
Right.
Should we put, under cemetery care, because of all the trees down, up that by 500?
There is a cemetery reserve fund with $10,000 and change in it.
I thought we were using that more for restoration
Yeah.
There's gonna be some restoration.
and fencing and things like
Yeah.
that, and not so much, I call cutting the trees that are damaged.
Yeah.
Maintenance,
Yeah.
not under restoration.
No, that makes sense.
Okay, can we just go back to the previous one? Because I'll, as liaison, I will ask the library board. So we know about the health insurance, but I'll double check that. We also want to find out about workers' compensation. And then what about disability insurance? Same thing, same question?
There's nothing there, right?
Well, we have been paying it in the past. There are actuals and there are budgeted numbers, but I should ask them about that as well.
Yeah, I mean, if we're supposed to be paying it and they're reimbursing us,
Right.
that's fine, but
But these are the
we also
three,
need to make sure we
yeah,
get
yeah.
reimbursed.
Right.
Those 298, 299, and 300 are the main things that
Mhm.
would be covered for that employee position.
Uh-huh.
And we want to make sure that we're either paying them and getting reimbursed, and that they're not paying it, and we're not paying at the same time. So I'll ask you about
And
that.
I think the only two lines that we should be in our fund is the maintenance and library insurance. I say library insurance, building insurance,
Property, yeah.
property insurance.
Correct. That's not a
No
reimbursement.
software should be there. And why such an increase in that? I realize the steps need to be done, but isn't that gonna be under,
That's
Capital-
a
capital building?
VLCT calculation.
no,
The
but maintenance.
Oh.
Maintenance went from budgeted 26 to 55,000, almost $1,000, doubled it.
Maintenance?
Building,
Insurance.
Zero.
Maintenance is zero.
Move to building
Insurance.
I'm
maintenance.
sorry, I figure I was going across the lines.
No, building maintenance is zero.
Did the library insurance go up that much?
Yeah.
Holy.
Holy what?
Holy
I
moly.
just said holy.
Well, last year, the VLCT folks sent around to reappraise the buildings, some of them, not all of them. But the library was reappraised.
Okay, keep moving.
You're not getting out of here, are they?
I know, but I don't wanna be here till midnight either.
You're getting that $15, Michelle. We
Yeah.
started.
So
at
let me ask you
$2
this.
an hour doesn't really cut it for me.
It doesn't make you excited?
We're approaching 9 o'clock. We have other agenda items. Is it safe to say that we're meeting next Monday?
Yes,
Okay, so that takes a little bit of time, well, some time pressure on who we have to.
Right.
Last Monday's your last Monday.
time is meaningless.
I'd like to get to line 319. We're talking 2 lines.
Okay.
Post-closure monitor, are we still,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
next,
Oh,
the
yeah.
next 10
That's-
lines
yeah.
are done.
the
Are
next
easy.
10 lines aren't ours, really?
They're easy. Yeah, they're fixed numbers, nothing we have any control over.
Right. Although I did email, Adam Muji at the RPC for their current dues rate. I don't think I have it.
Okay.
Well, is the Addison County tax correct? Because remember last year we got it after the fact and they had up,
No,
jumped
we
it up.
got the final number
Okay,
already.
good.
Now we got it.
So we have 5%, looks to be somewhat.
So then we're up to Public Works and Highway, so we've already done that.
Yep, did that.
So then it's Arts, Parks, Recreation Hub.
Yeah,
And we've
So we
done,
can do that
Which we have
next Monday.
been through.
Yeah, we've been through, but
We've been through, we need to discuss the additional salary
salary,
person.
yeah. We can do that next week.
so jumping down to then appropriations, those are all the same as last time.
No, a couple have changed.
Yeah.
Did the
Well,
rescue
well, I
get
mean,
theirs
our
in?
capital.
they're
Oh,
working
yeah.
hard at it.
Sorry.
Getting
Huh?
the
They
signatures.
have to have it in. when
It's
the
too
rescue-
late. It had to be in by the 18th.
What?
No, they're done.
Did the
Rescue's
rescue
done?
get their signatures?
Yeah, they had to go back out, but they have that option.
Did they get, oh,
Yeah, they had to bring them back this morning. I had 24 hours to review them,
Ooh.
and they had 48 hours to get the remaining signatures, which they did.
Very
I
nice.
brought them in this morning, so everybody's, but I didn't update any numbers in here for the voted appropriations. I did in
no, I did,
Morning,
I plugged
the,
them in.
We adding anything to the cemetery reserve fund? We started that way back when, and then we haven't added anything to it.
Yeah, well,
We should add it
let's
if
see
we
what
have
we
the-
got for money.
See, I'll see what we got.
See what we
I'd like
got
to see
for
what-
leftovers.
I'd like to see what
Leftovers, we're
the-
gonna use leftovers this year.
Just take out the cash. Yeah, okay.
So the new number.
No
will go next to the-
unanticipated, no undesignated, with leftovers.
Leftovers.
So
Leftover
are
bucks.
the bolded ones like updates or are they just added?
The bolded one?
What are we
Yeah,
talking
those
about?
bolded
I don't know,
ones
I
in
didn't
the
update this.
appropriations.
Oh, yeah, those are the
Changes.
changes.
They're the ones that are in progress in terms of the 3-year.
the ones that are bolded are articles.
Okay.
So to make
so
sure,
there
that-
should be, how many do you have? Do you have the charter house on there?
Yep.
Yep.
9 total? That sound about right?
9 new ones, is that what you're saying, 9 that have?
Not 9
articles?
new ones. We have
9
one,
that have
we
articles.
have one new one, which is Charter House. And then the other 8 are ones that are going through their 3-year process of signatures.
What's a charter house asking?
3,000.
No, I mean, I know they do,
It's-
Overnight.
they do overnight, yeah,
Yes,
beds and
that.
that, okay.
so yeah, I bolded those lines to make sure that we put the proper article numbers in there.
Good. That's good.
So that brings us down to the bottom.
It's a good thing you put formerly Woman's Day, because I was gonna say, what's a tria?
Yeah. Oh, I updated that. I'm keeping
So did
these.
you include the library as the 9?
Yes.
Mhm.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I only have 8,
Including the library?
yeah.
I'll read them to you. The library, Cemetery Association, 4th of July Committee, Rescue Squad, Turning Point, Habitat for Humanity, Addison Allies Network, Charter House Coalition, and Happy Heart Food Shelf.
Well, you didn't read them in alphabetical order, so which one? Why do you have Turning Point?
Because they changed theirs.
The what?
Oh, no, you're right.
4,000?
No,
No,
this
you're-
is their 3, this is
It's
their
the third of
third
the-
year.
Okay, so that's fine.
So
So we,
they're just,
right.
their
Huh?
regular one.
So this is their 3rd year or?
No, it's their 4th year.
So
Okay.
they're done.
Year 3 was last year.
Okay,
All
there
right.
you go.
so we have 8 then total.
All right,
There you go, Sharon. You're, as usual, Sharon.
Well,
you
see,
are.
that makes
Gosh,
your, that makes your,
Sharon's
ballot that much smaller.
Ian, Ian,
It's on the warning.
Ian. Ladder girl. No, give her a ladder. Ladder girl.
Oh, girl. That's great. Okay.
Hey, are we done with this for now?
yeah, so just looking looking at where we're at.
Everybody's-
So really, we need to review Arts, Parks, Recreations, our capital
Yeah, the capital
funds
Yeah,
and the unassigned.
yep.
Okay,
Leftovers.
Leftover bucks.
okay,
Right now,
awesome.
we're looking at,
Yeah,
Next.
so, good.
Remember, you're not the chair.
Yeah,
okay?
I'm gonna be, I'm gonna remind you every time you do it.
I'm trying not to do it after our discussion last week.
you're up.
Quite all right. I need the help sometimes. All right.
You
So,
sound awful.
Boy, you sound
Hey.
terrible.
I think
but
need
you
to-
are
Hang
so
on.
glad I'm not there breathing
need-
on all of you. Believe
You
me.
need to put some brandy or something in your tea.
I know.
She's not telling you, but she is.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. So, here we go, regular business. Review town meeting and police district warnings.
All right.
Those old things.
First one down.
Oh, we didn't do police, but we didn't, I guess we don't need to do that. We
The
can
warning?
finalize that on Monday.
No,
Budget?
it's the budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine, yeah.
So we'll
Today?
focus on
When I start getting punch happy, then it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I can't focus.
Yeah.
Stereo.
I know.
Sorry.
Live coughing.
I'm a heck of a lot better than I was last week. Oh my gosh, it was gross. No.
There's hope.
All right, we're looking at the warnings here, correct?
Yeah.
All right.
So we can postpone Article 3 and just take that language and recycle it going forward.
That's the
Unified board, yeah, the UDI.
Get out of here.
Yeah, it's good.
So obviously the budget numbers need to wait.
Yeah.
You fixed it, you fixed the
We're not seeing
2023,
you on the screen.
2024.
I have not.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to put it on the screen, Val?
I was gonna say,
Sorry.
that's all right. I'm looking at Article 3 and going, oh,
Oh, sorry.
we're gonna skip the author.
All right, let's see here.
Hang in there, Jimmy.
I've had more fun at autopsies.
Yikes.
You know that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can get rid of Article 3.
Yeah. 5 is set. 6, we need the numbers for.
8, you need to change from 2023, 24 to 24, 25, 8 and 9.
Oh, yeah.
8
hold on.
and 9.
Yep.
24, 25.
I thought I caught.
Yeah. Wasn't there another one?
I don't remember now. We'd have to go down through.
I
I
can do
thought
it.
it was just those, but I had another question or I had another, something else to change, but I don't have my email.
Yeah.
So the 10 is out, right?
Yeah, 'cause we did it last year.
Yeah, we
Or
did
gotta
that
put
last
money in there.
That can come out.
So she's not using the one I updated, cause I already
Oh.
took that out.
Oh. Well, this is a
Can we-
PDF from,
Must've been a couple weeks ago, cause I made some changes to it and added a couple 3 articles that we were gonna do.
I took this from the shared link that you gave me.
Can we just open up the live document? Is that possible?
Let's see.
So we're gonna discuss Article 7? Is our salary?
Yes, that's on this list.
Yeah, because if we do it live, then we can do a little bit
That
of tweaks
makes
right now.
sense.
And it's done.
So I hope this is the same document, because this is the one I downloaded from the shared link. Although I added that.
Oh, I didn't take Article 10, that's just the name change.
Yeah.
So Article 10.
So
Dates are right in there.
In Article 3, I just had planning zoning, so
Right.
if there's something in there, she added it.
Yeah, I did. I added
So
that.
that one's coming out.
Yeah.
Can you just delete Article 3 out of there now?
Well,
Now,
I
that way-
wanna copy and paste it into something else before, I don't wanna have to rewrite it. So I'll cut it and paste it into a future warning thing.
Yeah, because it doesn't show up when I'm looking at it, what she changed it to, so.
Can,
Cause I saved it to my drive, not to your shared drive.
Okay.
So I could work with it.
All right. Can we look at the one that's actually like the live one and not like a duplicate? Because this keeps happening where I feel like Sharon does one thing and then we don't have the updated
Well, probably
information.
the updated one is the one she downloaded, because mine is from last week. That I
Okay.
made changes on, so she downloaded it and made changes. Probably
Okay,
hers is the more current one.
It is.
okay.
Cause
And
But
so,
I thought you
so-
said you changed the 23-24 to 24-25 in Article 8 and 9.
I mean, ideally,
No.
you would both be working from the same file. It
Yeah,
should all be in the cloud. And that's the files that you should be working for, not a local copy, because that's why problems like this happen. Like, I'd love to have it be able to be where Val works on something, and then if Sharon needs to open it and add something to it, because this is something that
Yeah.
she's also doing as well, she's opening the exact file that Val's been working on, or she makes a duplicate and you can both see in the same folder that it's like the next day's date or something. That seems like the most efficient way to work,
so she probably has the most current one.
but it would
No,
be
I,
nice.
no, I understand what you're saying. I was having technical difficulties over the weekend and the way the files thing was working, I was having trouble navigating, just like very similar to the budget document that flunked out on me. I
Okay,
had to do it differently. Cause sometimes the file sharing thing doesn't go so smoothly. So anyway, but I hear your
I'm
point.
gonna do the next one is 23-24, and is that the 25 grand list, or is it still
No,
24?
still 24.
Still 20.
It'll be 24, April of this year will be the 2024 grant list.
So that
That's
got
right.
changed.
Yeah, because we're only.
Now you want to change that Article 10, because we're not changing the name, we'll just do authorized to transfer
Yeah.
funds if we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
So what needs to change?
And
I
change
would
it,
just-
take out from C on changing down to transfer. Or B.
will voter authorize,
No, from here to here, needs to, because we did that last year, we changed the name
Yeah,
last
we
year.
don't need to change.
so
the name.
select, there you go, authorize, there you go.
There you go.
Transfer a blank to general fund, okay.
Provided we have on
To
site.
To what?
authorize,
Wait,
to what?
right, hang on, yeah,
Authorize.
right, we have to keep the name in there. So, yeah, authorize,
The transfer.
To the-
fellow. Oh, so you put the
Transfer.
transfer, to
Right.
capital building and maintenance fund at the bottom.
yeah,
Where it says balance to, unassigned fund balance to capital building and maintenance fund.
yeah,
Right. I see.
Because that's the way you have the rest of them.
Right.
Now you keep going till it says capital building and maintenance. Take out, capital building fund.
Oh, right. Capital building fund.
There you go.
and and then we're taking that from the unassigned balance, is that correct?
Well,
We
if
hope-
we have unassigned
Right,
balance,
no.
right.
11,
Technology fund, yeah. Cemetery fund,
okay, so article,
whatever number.
so we had, in the town report that I'm working on, I've got, where did that go? I was curious about the name. I just want to get the name right. So
Right.
you wanted to add in something else Because you want it to be all
Facilities.
encompassing? Are
Well,
we,
I suggested recreation equipment and facilities capital fund.
but was that the intent of that fund? Because I thought it was just for the
Equipment.
Bristol Youth Sports. That's how that fund was created with that budget. But are we intending it to use for broader than Bristol Youth Sports?
Well, we created a separate account for the Bristol Youth Sports already, so that does not need to be a reserve fund, and the distinction is it's not tax money. So this
Oh,
would be
it's
tax dollars going to this fund.
Do we have to,
Yes,
the
that's what we're
equipment
talking
was,
about.
we have to start paying or saving for
So-
all
so-
No, that'll all come out,
two
yeah,
things
for the
happen
van,
then.
yes.
van.
The
later
van
on.
and any,
Hold on. So two things happen. We got the Bristol Youth Sports money, which is the 13,000.
Mhm.
Where is that sitting?
In its own account. All expenses and any money they get is going into that account.
But it's not,
Intermingled with anything
Not
else.
taxpayer
and it's
money.
not a fund or anything like that.
no.
Okay, and then the second part of this was to create a fund.
Mhm.
Okay, I thought those two things were the same thing.
Right.
Okay,
And I think this came up, this idea of a reserve fund came up even before, could be wrong, came up before the Bristol Youth Sports evolved.
okay.
Like she talked about wanting to replace or having to replace the gymnastics mats and things like that. That
Right.
you know,
Okay.
they've been
Yeah.
around a long time.
Does
Yeah.
that have to
So-
have two articles though?
Hold on. Peter.
Because, sorry.
So we're taking from the, if I understand what we've been doing right, what we've been doing in the past, we're a year behind. This says from the June 30, 2023 unassigned funds. And we don't have
No.
audited numbers from there, so aren't we taking from the 2022?
You could,
I mean, that's what last year we were a year behind and
That's right.
probably the article was right, but
Should they all say 22?
We took, last year, we took from 2021.
So this year
Because we
should-
didn't have 2022. So if everything works properly, we should be taking from 2023, the previous year.
Right.
But we're a year behind that.
right.
So this year,
Yeah.
if the numbers are correct in the draft audit report, those are the numbers that we work with, and so we're taking from the 2022.
Yeah.
Ideally, we would take from 2023 because we would know what we have, but
and in theory, they combine, they're cumulative.
that's true, right?
So you add one, and you add the
That's
other.
right, we'd have the most recent numbers for
Yeah.
2023.
Yeah,
So is that 2022 or 2023?
you make a good point. I
It should
think
be
it's gonna
2022.
2022,
Yeah,
Because somebody questioned it last year
Oh.
in the audience.
right.
Right.
that's right, it was part of the minutes.
Somebody.
So all the ones above need to be changed as well.
22.
Yeah.
And does that need to, because we're just starting this fund, is that a two,
No, we did it last year.
we did the building maintenance fund
We
and then
did
we
the
had one to
capital-
put into that? I thought it was, you had to vote to create it first and then
It's the same, and there's no need for two steps, you're doing the
Right.
same thing.
Do
It's
all
it's just
one.
grammar.
okay. I'm just,
The voters authorize a new, it says. So, and then next year it'll be just,
Right, we'll
next
drop
time
what
we
they
want to
just
put
did
money
with
Well,
in
we
there.
just
building
did it,
maintenance.
Yeah.
Okay, so so you've got those, so let's talk about that reserve fund, because I wanna get this right. So, because it's part of the Recreation Department's report here. I have the details about the Bristol Youth Sports, but I'm combining it with the reserve fund, which I don't want to do.
Correct.
So let's take a look at this, if I can open up this document. So that Bristol Youth Sports is under a headline that talks about Recreation Programs Reserve Fund. So that's not true. So
Mhm.
in the town report, and maybe this is a discussion for the board, but for Meredith, are we just talking about are we doing a report about Bristol Youth Sports and that
Yeah, I would-
13,307?
Yeah, I would-
we have?
I would,
They're separate.
Okay,
and then make a note that, oh, by the way, readers, article blah, blah, blah on the warning is asking to establish a new reserve fund. So to make reference to introduce it.
okay,
You
so
can
what,
use the town report to introduce it
with the
narratively.
title talking about talking about the Bristol Youth Sports, would that just be Bristol Youth Sports? Are we still calling it that?
I think
Yes.
so.
Okay.
Then you'll see it in our warrant that says.
All right, so I'm gonna change that to
Yep.
Bristol Youth
Yep.
Sports.
Consistency and transparency.
And then, the balance of that, is that just the Bristol, what's the name for that, Sharon? That account that money is held? Are you just calling it the Bristol Youth Sports account? Okay,
Just Bristol Youth Board, yeah.
all right, so Bristol Youth Sports balance, okay. And then I gotta make sure there's no other, okay. Right, because we talk about to ensure transparency and proper management of finances, a new account was proposed to be set up. This account would carry over funds from year to year, similar to a reserve fund. The recommendation was approved by the select board at that meeting. That's what's in this report. So that's still fine, because that's that particular balance.
Does it say that it's non-taxpayer dollars? Cause it
Say
should.
that, cause it'll be self-supporting.
Okay. This balance will be
Taxpayer money.
This balance is non-taxpayer money and will be
Money.
self-supporting.
and will be self-supporting. Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay, so now let's talk about the reserve or this fund. So you want to call it the Recreation Equipment and Facilities Capital Fund. Okay.
It's convenient that the acronym is REF.
Okay. Okay, that helps me. Thank you very much. Okay, yeah, and I think that's great too. That's excellent. And we can determine what we want to put into that.
So we'll come back to those capital funds.
Are the numbers right for the library?
Correct. We're all correct. It's a total, so this needs to be filled in.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna attempt math at this point.
We have them now for you or not?
I don't know if you
The
want.
computer, the
67,200.
Say that again?
67,200.
Nice.
Thank
Thank
you.
Huh?
Yes.
I didn't even try.
Does Turning Point go away? Is that the one you said that was already 3 years?
Correct.
So we can get rid of
So it
Article
should be up in
22,
the
but you
top
have to
right.
add them up above.
It'll be
It needs to
below.
come up above.
Right, or whatever, yeah, below.
So
So take this one out,
Article
Yeah.
22 disappears.
and this becomes Article 22.
Nice.
But you gotta make sure you put Turning Point in the list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
down below.
With the down below.
completely blow.
And are people okay with splitting out the Bristol? And
Yeah.
is that okay? I mean,
Yeah.
I
I think
suggested
that
doing
makes
that.
sense.
Okay.
I got a question on the 4th of July that they do the fireworks and everything, and do you care about being that far in depth?
Except for what?
In depth on what the
Oh.
money is
Sure, I mean,
used
I think
for?
it's the more information, I think, the better.
Aren't they
Yes.
also responsible for the fireworks?
They are.
So should we put that in there?
That's one of the reasons why they're increasing, I guess. The petition says.
Organize the parade, fireworks and events.
Yes.
And I'll
And
change that.
the only reason I caught that was because it said on the town green, and that's not on the town green, so.
Thankfully.
They also do the events at the rec field on the 3rd too.
Organize.
I mean, I don't know how much you want to put in there, but
And rec field.
Well, that's part of the fireworks, but
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah, I mean,
So what do you?
Should have just point of grammar, Valerie, events on the town green and rec field, and at the town green, it doesn't matter, I guess. On or at. I don't know.
Yeah.
After events, after the word events.
Take the at out and put on.
your warning.
No, just asking.
I've updated that in our, we have the civic organizations.
Do you bold the 22,692? Because you have all the other numbers bolded, so.
Oh, I see.
For Bristol Rescue. So this is where you gotta add in
Turning point.
Turning Point.
In alphabetical order,
That's right.
like gully.
After Tri-Valley.
Oops. That was me today.
Right.
No, I did my fingers around the wrong keys.
Oh,
But
yeah.
For about a good half hour.
is there more to their title, Turning Point of Addison?
Turning Point Center.
Turning Point Center.
Turning Point Center of Addison County. For $3,000.
I would just say Turning Point Center.
Yeah.
Can't fit it. It gives it down to
Oh,
the
right.
second.
We're limited
second
with our, we're
line.
limited with our space here, right?
3,000, right?
And then the number
The number
here is 7. I can do that now.
Yeah, put in the right article numbers, make sure we got them all numbered correctly,
Mhm.
because I thought you had one.
So that's the one on the yellow down there,
We're
right?
pulling, yeah.
Article
we're pulling
number
it.
3,
Yeah, that's gonna change. Okay, so she can do this.
So,
It's not social services, it's civic organizations.
Are you gonna change the policy? Because that's what it's called, is social services.
Can you say social
we do that
services
at
slash
a board
civic?
meeting? or is that-
What policy?
We
What's-
have a social service policy that shows them what the petition is and what they have to do to, request.
Funds.
Yeah, I think we
It's
should,
on our website.
I think we should update that to civic organizations. It's been civic organizations for the last 2 or 3 town reports.
Well, the reports. that-
Can we,
Right, no, I know.
can you slide up a little bit? What does it say on all these? Does it say civic?
Doesn't say anything.
This is organization.
Just says organizations.
Bristol-based organizations listed below. Support the organizations listed below. Doesn't say civic or social.
No, it doesn't.
Neither.
Yeah, and in our budget, it just says voted appropriations.
Right.
It says civic board, but we may have changed that a couple of years ago. Yeah, we could update that. I mean,
Is
just
that-
do that.
Should there be an "and" in there after foster and grandparent program? Green Mountain Foster Grandparent Program, or is it 2 programs? I don't know.
It's,
Foster
Is it
grandparent
one?
program.
Not after, yeah, should there be an "and" before grandparent?
No,
I
No?
don't think so.
it's just Green Mountain Foster Grandparent Program.
correct, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Green Mountain.
For foster grandparents.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I think civic services are,
Can you just say civic slash social services,
Yeah.
just to cover
Uh-oh,
it? Uh-oh,
I did that last week too.
yep,
we just went down.
we just lost you.
They can still hear us.
Can you hear us, Starla?
I don't know what's going on with this.
Yes,
reach
I
a
can
certain
hear, I
amount?
can hear you. Can
It
you hear
reaches a
me?
certain amount of hours.
Yeah, we can hear
We
you.
can hear you, you're just not,
You can't.
you're just.
A black screen.
Yeah.
Sorry. I had dog cat interactions I had to deal with.
Yeah, I don't know.
It'll come back. We left it alone last time. It
All right,
came
it
back.
came back.
Okay, but now we can't see the warning either,
Yeah.
so.
Right.
There were only those last 2 things anyway. It was
Yeah.
just the.
Yeah.
So is that the right terminology in terms of asking people to
Yeah.
vote? So
Will the
that's,
voters authorize the use of Australian ballot?
Should it say,
Is it for approval of or for?
I just threw some words in there just so we wouldn't forget.
no, it's good. So what do we? Yeah,
Should we
we're
say
asking for
for the
approval.
March of 2024
Yes, I think
or
that we should
25
be
town meeting?
specific, yes,
Starting with the
We're
March.
starting with
March.
yes,
Yeah.
we're beginning,
Right.
come on.
Starting
Ooh.
starting with.
That's
There
what
it is.
that.
That's so funny.
Okay,
It was up in the cloud.
Yeah,
Dar-
it's what
Darla.
it is it's meeting's supposed to be over, we had to start a new one.
so Darla, Darla, when the screen went off for us here, do you not see us anymore, but you can still hear us?
I can still see you and I could see the screen. Everything was fine. Nothing happened here.
Oh,
so
so it's
just
just,
our
it's just
end.
our screen
Just
here
your
and then
end.
going on to that, okay.
It's just
Yeah.
that computer.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's another one that we're gonna add to the
Well,
list.
But maybe,
That
we-
was a free computer, I bought it with a grant.
Oh,
well,
one
maybe
here?
we can take one of
No,
the
no.
other computers that we're gonna
The
talk
older,
about and bring
yeah,
it in here or
ones
something
we're gonna
like that.
replace and.
Will
switchers.
voters authorize the use of Australian ballot for the civics/social services appropriations?
You wanna get rid of
You gotta
that.
I think you gotta get voting in there or something. I don't think it's clear for people.
right. Approval of, or authorization.
Authors,
Authorize the use of
Australian ballot voting.
Correct.
Australian ballot is a vote.
I know, but I think
For voting
Yes.
on the civic.
yes, it has to be clear.
Or authorized to use, the use of by voting Australian ballot.
No, I think it's Australian ballot for voting. I think that's clear. And we can massage this
Yeah.
too,
That's better.
but, okay. Starting with the 2025 town meeting, yeah, that's good.
Mhm.
Because we don't want people to be confused by that and not, I mean, it's gonna be on the floor, so they can ask.
Okay,
What article is that valid?
so the other one, the other one to put in here is the one about select board pay. We have.
And I think you can just do it. You
Not
think you just-
even put it on.
I think you can just change it.
Change it.
Well, there is a select board one, isn't there?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it's right there.
Article seven.
But it's,
To set the,
we're wondering whether we can change that amount, or if it's a voter that has to say, hey, I think this amount should be changed. Can the select board actually
No,
change
can't
their
the
own thing?
select board put a-
We could just put a
Item on
number
the
in
warrant,
there and they
yeah.
can vote it up or
Okay.
vote it down.
I've been doing some research on it. And the 4 towns around us tell me, see, it comes from the auditors. The auditors, we set pay for every employee in town except the auditors. Or the auditors pay, we can't set our own, that comes from the auditors, but I emailed them all back and said, we don't have elected auditors anymore.
No,
We have an auditing firm that's never set our pay.
so,
right.
And they go, good luck. All I got was a response from everybody, good luck on that, Joel.
so if we don't put the same as, and just put, will the voters set the salaries to be paid to the members
Because I
of the
think
select
that's what you
board?
did when you changed the head of the select board.
Right.
The chair, right?
But the chair,
Yeah.
to have a different
Okay.
amount, you just put. a
Yeah, that's
different
true. It
amount in
wasn't the
there.
voters who decided that, it was us.
Yeah, and then if they don't like it, then they could say, anybody can
So-
get up and say, no,
Yeah.
that's too much.
Patrick,
Set the select board at the,
At blank. Plus, whatever the number is you want in there.
for, after select board for the fiscal year 2024, being whatever, plus so much a meeting. Take the word the same out. and put-
Yeah.
What do we want for FY
You want for
2024?
FY fiscal year 2024. Yeah,
Financially.
2025, right?
No,
well,
24.
start July
24.
1st, 2024.
24, 25, right?
fiscal year.
So it'll be the 24, 25,
Correct.
24, 25 year.
It's the same.
Yeah. And what's the number you want to put in there?
Michelle?
I don't know.
750?
Ooh, you have 750? Anyone going
Oh,
higher?
I was jumping to
I was going
1,000.
to 1,000.
Yeah.
What do you think, Baker?
I was thinking 1,000.
Jimmy,
what do you
Depends on
think?
whether
You're
we're
the one
gonna.
on
Yeah,
Jimmy, you attend the most, what do you think?
Or increase the meeting pay, one or the other.
I think $1,025 a meeting and 35 for the chair. You guys do a lot of work.
You go,
All
girl.
right, thanks, Jim.
And you'll support that at town meeting?
I don't get money out of that every meeting. I don't get anything.
You will support that at town meeting?
Sure, why not?
He's not probably not gonna be at
Yeah,
town
he's not
meeting.
coming.
That was enthusiastic, Jim. Thanks.
All right, well, we've had a voter suggest that. I say that's pretty good. 1,000 and
25 for meeting pay
Yeah.
and 35 for the chair.
Because Starksville gets $12.55 an hour for their meetings. So we started at 6, we'll get out of here at 10. We had 4 hours at 12:55.
Yeah.
Cause I emailed them back and said, is that 12:55 a meeting? And so I said, if you have a 3-hour meeting,
Yeah.
what
I
do
mean,
you
if we
get?
get,
She
if we
says
could get
38
minimum
something.
wage, that would be nice.
Yeah, we're probably not there yet. That's okay.
If we're getting closer though, that's good.
Okay. Alright, is that the last thing we have to do on this one?
I think so.
All right.
Other than we gotta figure numbers once we get.
Right.
Right.
And then.
If that passes, maybe I'll be chair next, this coming year. Can I vote myself as chair?
That's
There you
Jolie.
go.
You're
Well, no.
SOL.
No, it's not, no, I could put my name forward. Apparently, I'm already being chair when I'm not chair, so might as well be chair again.
Like I said,
Okay.
I gotta run and get elected first.
Yeah, and with all the people running against you,
Yeah,
it's
I
gonna
don't,
be
I don't see
tight.
that being an
It's
issue.
gonna be tight.
Don't know yet. They're not all in, right, Sharon?
Oh my God.
I'm not
next
counting any
Monday.
chickens till I hatch.
That's right, next
All right.
Monday's the deadline.
Darla,
You're up.
I'm sorry. Police district, correct? The police district annual meeting warning is next up.
yes,
Yeah,
and I think that only needs numbers.
right. The
Police,
police district warning, that just needs
Right.
numbers and we haven't gone through that
okay,
yet,
so
so.
let's, yeah.
Can we skip that one?
We're
Yeah.
skipping it.
Yeah.
All right. Moving right along. Authorize use of the technology reserve fund to purchase 3 new computers. For the teen center, front counter and cash register and administrative assistant.
Okay, so I asked Valerie this question, why are we buying an Apple for the teen center? When
Because-
everything else is,
Because that's what.
Oh, the rec center has
well,
it.
just because she wants it doesn't mean she gets it, I just think when you're maintaining them, it's easier if they're all the same.
Apple has a lot more features though for that group, and the teens grow up on it.
Well, the teens don't use those, do they?
That's what you said.
Well, actually, well, I don't know if they use that laptop. That should.
No, they use iMacs that are at the hub.
Yeah,
It's what Taylor is comfortable with, and also that's what Meredith uses too.
and it's good for graphics and they do a lot of graphics.
And
That's
there's
what I'd want if I was doing it.
the,
That's right, figured it out.
the maintenance aspect is not as complicated as you doing it on the Windows side. So it's pretty minimal. I'll make a motion to approve this, but I have some questions.
Second, so we can discuss it.
I think the Apple one is fine. The price seemed to be good from Amazon. It was cheaper than getting it through Apple. The Dell quote, I felt was high. You can get it from Amazon for $12.79 instead of the $16.53. You could also get it from B&H.
But that's for 2, isn't it? 16.
6053 is for 2.
I know.
It was yours.
$12.79 is for 2.
Oh,
With the same features?
Correct, exactly same machine. I was just curious if you had looked at other areas, just because you were gonna get the Mac from Amazon if you.
No,
looked
I
at-
didn't deal with the Mac, I just ordered it.
Right.
I'll have to ask Chris, I don't know if he
You
looked
mean
at.
not ordered it yet?
Yes, I'm gonna order it.
So, make a motion, we don't, no. We got a no here, so we can bring this.
When you get it, you turn around and return
Right, exactly,
Um,
yeah.
If someone tell me why we meet. Sometimes.
Yeah, it was, I don't know if the town just has a relationship directly with Dell, or it seems like you can get the same machine for $12.82 of them from Amazon, which
I can
could
have
be,
Chris look at
could be,
it, 'cause
could be
he's the one that
quicker.
did the
Okay.
research.
That's all, you know,
Yeah.
We have a purchasing policy.
yeah, no, I know, so,
And in my recommendations, I had suggested that it be up, that the approval be up to
3,500.
approximately 3,500 because we'll have to do all these other installations and setups and stuff like that. So.
That was included in your motion?
it was,
Oh, it was
Yeah,
included in my second.
up to 3,500.
Okay, so we have a
But-
motion in a second.
Who
Are we
seconded?
done?
Oh, thank you.
Sorry, are we done discussion? I'm sorry.
Yeah, as long as we just look at the price.
I'd like to get the best
Okay.
deal too.
Yeah, if we can.
Okay.
Might be quicker than anywhere from Amazon as well.
Right.
That could be
So-
true.
There's a motion in a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, moving on. Approval of annual certificate of highway mileage without change.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye, yes. Anybody opposed? Okay. Look at us moving right
Where
along.
we sign here? Right here, yeah, right where the line is.
Where it says sign here. we got error.
Review and approval of the December 18 and December 26 meeting minutes.
So moved with whatever changes were given to Val.
Second.
There weren't any.
I haven't seen any.
Yeah, and I went through them both, and so if you don't get any from me, there weren't any that I saw.
Yeah, I didn't see any. I looked through them. All right, all those in favor?
Who seconded that?
Okay,
Bill.
thank you.
I did.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, authorize accounts payable. Does anyone have that number right in front of them?
Yeah,
75,808.36.
that's just what it is.
Okay,
Imagine
are there
that.
liquor or tobacco licenses for that?
I didn't see any liquor licenses.
Yes, no, I do have liquor licenses. I have Maplefield second-class license, Bristol Beverage second-class license, and the 2 tobacco ones. And then Snap first, third, and outside consumption.
And you'd like us to make a
Authorize
motion on those, correct?
Motion to authorize the clerk to deal with the liquor licenses.
Second.
Do we have any restrictions on any of those?
Just the outside one, we have that they have to have them in chains or whatever, and they bring them in.
So those will just continue.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know why you're packing up.
I'm putting my beer away because I don't need it anymore.
Did someone make a motion for the licenses?
You made a
Okay,
motion, I seconded it.
okay. So all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Town administrator, oh no, sorry, select board roundtable. Ian,
I sent off to folks the town report. I'd love for you to have a look through.
I haven't had a chance yet.
Okay. It's coming together. Obviously, we're missing quite a bit of stuff, but
I'm working on it.
yeah, no, I mean, I'm not just looking at you. I looked at how I said that, but I didn't mean it. Look at Sharon, quite a bit of stuff, but it's coming together really well. We've got reports from all the different appropriations, which is kind of nice. I need to get one for a charter house since that was new, but everything else is looking really good. And Darla's going to be working on the dedication, and so yeah, it's coming on. But I'll get with the people who need to send reports and just give them a reminder. But yeah, please look through it. If you spot anything, do let me know.
Now, a while back, when the select board made the ARPA appropriations to the different organizations, we had requested that they submit something for the town report of how they used the money. And I did send them out notices to that effect months ago.
Okay.
But I haven't done any follow-up on that subject.
We do have it, I mean, we have an opera committee report that Porter submitted, and that details what was chosen and what was detailed by the committee, and then the dollar amounts, but we don't, you're right, we don't have a follow-up from the
Well, I
organization.
know
It would
Bristol
be-
Rescue came in and actually did one in person.
Yeah, they've got theirs. We don't have
Willow.
specifics. That would be nice. Willow is still in progress. They're hoping to break ground this year. I haven't heard from Sonic Lodge, and they don't seem to be moving on any construction work, so it'd be nice to get an update. Yeah, that's interesting.
And Turning Point, did they put anything in there?
Because we gave them.
About the ARPA?
report? Yeah, 'cause they got a little bit.
They did. I'll have to look. Yeah, let me, I'll follow up on
And
that.
with Open Door Clinic got some too.
Correct.
Right. And didn't rec department get some too? Did she put anything in there about, didn't she get?
Yeah,
some
I'll
for
check
the
on that.
van?
Okay,
The
that's
state
good. I'll
park.
make a note about that.
Yeah,
Thank you. That's a good reminder.
And the van.
yeah, the van.
let's
I thought I
see.
saw something about the van.
Michelle,
That's all I
did-
had. Oh, sorry, I had one more thing. So I'm still working on the Howden Hall sign. It's done. I did it to print. I just need to go over and pick it up and then take the old sign down and then do a bit of routing to get the curve and then put the new sign up. But it's a bit
Nice.
cold out there, so I've been.
I expected you out there this
I know,
weekend.
I've been not wanting to do that. Part of the sign did fall down in the wind. The sign's still up. It was the Historical Society sign kind of broken half and fell on the ground. I put it over by the front door. So eventually we'll get to that. But yeah, I'm waiting for it to be slightly warmer before I have to go out there and do that.
Yeah.
And our
Okay.
signs.
Michelle,
Is our sign still broken?
Sorry.
Yeah, the sign's still broken.
Is the bottom piece broken?
I think it's,
Just the screws.
screw, but I think the bottom piece on the big part needs a little bit of.
All right, let me take a look.
It looks like it's cracked on,
Oh, it did?
maybe cracked on the
Cause the
corner.
whole thing blew up. Okay, maybe I'll take a look at that.
Okay, now
I'm
are you
good.
done? You're
Yes,
good.
sorry.
Thank you, Michelle.
You're done.
Thank you, Michelle. Peeker, Peeker, do
good.
you have anything?
Good, I'm good.
Okay, Joel.
Just, one thing, you know, we've been talking about the firehouse drive lights. The first batch didn't work, but the last two worked for the longest time, and then they quit working. So somebody's gotten in there and done something. The two on the very
The two on
south
the
end,
very end are not working now.
there's none down there now. So
Well,
somebody's,
probably Bluesdorf stopped paying for
But he
them,
probably
because they
got
were
pissed
on his
off.
meter.
well, he's got power, so I don't know what's happening. So somebody's done something with the wall.
Well, I know that, Cy and, Matt,
Myers,
Myers, that they both troubleshooted out there. They know what the problem is. But, I don't know if what the specific plan is for addressing it.
okay, so that's all I had.
Yeah,
Now those two lights don't work.
We know what the problem is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Don't know what the
okay, that's all I had.
Great. I do not have anything this evening. So now town administrators report.
Just trying to keep all these things moving. As Frida reported, we spent quite a bit of time getting requisitions together. Yeah, just trying to keeping things moving.
Thank you. All right, any other business correspondence report?
Can I just say thank you to Sharon and Chris for
Oh, yes.
stepping up to the plate? I know it's not been fun, but we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yes, much
And we know
appreciated.
that Mark is ready and interested to help when he can, but we're not quite there yet. And hopefully after Nemrick does their magic, that we'll be able to have him continue to help everybody work with all this stuff.
Wasn't one of the concepts to set Mark on the auditors? Can we do that?
Do what? He doesn't even know where to get the reports, either do we,
Yeah.
or what reports they need. We're trying to figure out what they need, but
Okay,
we're not finding what was given to them last year. So what would be ideal is if an auditor would come here and work with us with what they need, but we've had no communication with them. We have sent them nothing unless Valerie sent them
I haven't had
something.
a chance.
Can't we
Okay.
call
They
them
haven't
and
even
say,
started anything.
can't we
so-
call them and say, we want somebody here?
And we also know that there are some errors
In last year,
that need to be fixed. Because the numbers just don't make sense.
Errors on their part?
Yeah, well, there's at least one big one that it looks like they told him to do a journal entry and either he did it backwards or they told him which way to do it, but without actually seeing the journal entries, we have no idea what they said. So we kind of need, in order to get it started,
okay,
somebody needs to come here.
okay.
And I know they can do that because I dealt with the auditors a lot at GMP,
Yeah.
so.
And
Yeah,
maybe
a lot of
some
times it's just, they're here.
Yeah,
So you
okay.
can go back and forth, go back and forth.
Well, Miranda spent a fair amount of time at this desk this
Right.
level of last year.
But I think that's what we need, because they haven't even started. So we're already in January and pretty soon we're gonna be having.
Yeah.
next year, another
Another
year.
fiscal year.
Tax time?
Yeah, we need to
Yeah.
get them here,
Yeah.
if that's, what. And if Mark can, if we want to stick Mark on them to set a time to get them here. We'll do it.
That's a
Yeah.
phone call.
Okay, thank you, Sharon.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Sharon.
I'm
Have
gonna
a good
shut the door
night.
now so you can talk about.
No, I had no problem talking about you when you're here, so.
All right, now we're moving on to other business. Correspondence reports, correspondence received, anything?
No?
Right. I like the way this is going. We need to break into executive session. Michelle, you're on.
Make a motion to enter into executive session to discuss personnel per one VSA section 303.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Good night, Jim.
Night, Jerry.
Night.
Good night, guys.
Take
Have
care,
a good
Jimmy. Hope
one.
you feel
Yeah.
better.
Thank you.